You can get your enhanced at Southwell V4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell supplements, an effective
My name is Martina. I would like to say thank you to the guys from Paddy Access, especially Jermaine, for a job well done. I called him 2 days before my brother's funeral to do a live video, and I was not disappointed. He was professional and kept in touch with me throughout the live, just making sure I was satisfied with everything. I would definitely use Paddy Access again, and I highly recommend that anyone looking to do a live video to hire them. Everyone who watched my brother's funeral had good things to say about how much of a good job the videographer did. If you want satisfaction for your money, Paddy Access is the way to go.
To another episode of the program, Can I Help You? I'm your host, Richard Frederick. In with me is no other than the man himself, Albert Fridges. Albert, good night.
Good night, Richard. Let me address you.
How are you?
I'm addressing you tonight.
You addressing me?
Yes.
When you say address me, I don't know what you mean, because sometimes you speak like Guy Joseph.
How is
Government do that make the law, they passing for themselves.
Cabinet.
Cabinet that make the law.
Leave that alone
Oh
for now.
Lord, ignorance is so pervasive in this country.
This man actually served in
Parliament. In Parliament and in Cabinet, and it really makes a mockery of what we offer to the people of St. Lucia as viable politicians to run the affairs of this country.
Madness.
It is totally sad, Albert.
And then he slips in a snide. You're going to play that later, aren't you?
Which one?
Yeah, he slips in a snide remark after in between. I don't know if they make the cabinet make that
Making
law for themselves.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We will play that clip. We have loads and loads. Folks, tonight we are limiting the shout outs, unfortunately. So we have to, because we have a lot of stuff down for discussion. We have loads and loads of stuff. And for us to get anything in, we would have to limit going on a tangent. But that having been said, I want to send advance birthday greetings to Alet. Could you put up Alet's picture, please? Alet at Customs, good night to you. And advance birthday greetings to you. Your birthday is on August 19th, which is 5 days from now. So that should be Wednesday, not so? Yes, your birthday should be on Wednesday. So I want to say advance birthday greetings to you. And may the good Lord bless you, and may you keep doing what you are doing. Okay? What can I do without you, D? I also want to say a special good night and happy birthday to Mr. Bowen Auger. Mr. Bowen Auger, my instructions are, remember Bowen explicit?
Yes, man, I worked with him.
Did you?
Yes.
All right. Yes. So Bowen,
He's Mahoney's father.
Father, yes. Mahoney, good night. I understood that your surgery in Martinique went pretty well and that you're recovering very, very well. And that you have always said that Can I Help You? The class of Can I Help You has something to do with your recovery. So I'm pleased to know that, the fodder we provide is good fodder for health and good fodder for your well-being. So good night, Mahoney. Good night to your lovely wife. And of course, Mr. Bowen Uji, advance birthday greetings to you. Your birthday is on the 17th.
And I'd like to add my voice to that.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead, Albert.
Yes, yeah. I'm just adding my voice to the salutations of Mr. Bowen Auger.
Okay, very well. Folks, like I said, Albert, you wanted to send birthday greetings. Like I said, we will curtail the shout-outs for now.
Yeah.
We'll probably deal with them after the break. But let's get right down to business.
Yeah, I'd just like to say right quick to Natalie de Turville. Her birthday was, I think, 2 days ago. So yeah, happy birthday to you. There's a gentleman who insists that I shout him out tonight. His name is McClay Plummer. He is always around the Rodney Bay area of Dubel selling coconuts, and these are strong supporters and they always patronize the show. So there are other people I'll be getting down to later, Richard, but I know we have to get down to the meat of the matter. So.
Yes, indeed.
Just let me also say, Lyndall and Deborah who were here on vacation.
Lyndall and Deborah too said.
Yes.
Okay. The usual people, Miss Pam, good night to all the CDC passe, including and not limited to Jackie, Miss Sidoni, of course, Yasmin Steele, and your lovely mother, Nus Senkwa. Cornelia Jacob, good night. Folks, I want to start off nice and slow. Again, to refute a blatant lie, a big lie, a story concocted for political mileage. And basically, I want to start off with the grant of citizenship through the CIP program. I will not only tell you, but you know what I normally do. I tell you and I show you. I show you so that you can see for yourselves that Richard Frederick is not making up stories. He's not telling us what we want to hear. He's not telling you anything for political gain, but he's being factual and putting the facts on the table. Because I heard a deranged individual, I had to say deranged, because I don't know where at all that information can be coming from, except it came from Martinez. And we'll be dealing with Lisa and Martinez later. We are no holds barred tonight. Herman Gill, I'll visit you. I promise you I'll visit you. I heard a deranged individual talking about we have sold 60,000 passports since we got into office. And I've collected billions of dollars. Folks, nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing at all. This is absolutely false. There is not even an iota of factuality attached to this egregious statement. Nothing at all. nonsensical at its best, if I may assess it. And it boils down to those flabos making up stories again and again and again. They make up stories just to either appease, sensationalize, or cause anxiety in the electorate. But Sapaka Fet, it's not happening. Because before I got here, I saw a post, Shastney addressing nation. Shastney, you are the same one that told the opposition they have lost the right to speak, you know. Upa Prime Minister, Upakai Prime Minister Ako, you are addressing which nation? And he wants to address nation to coincide with, can I help you? You don't see you're a madman. You're addressing the nation. So, you know, those people go very far. Albert, anything quickly on addressing the nation?
The fact is, the opposition leader, because Philip JP has addressed the nation as opposition leader. So nothing wrong with the opposition leader addressing the nation. It's just that I don't see what Justin has to tell the nation.
I'm not sure Philip JP addressed the nation.
I think he has.
I don't think so. Probably he can enlighten us in that regard. But, you know, address nation by foot. You know, they lost the right to speak. This, that, and the other.
Yeah, but there you see, he disqualified himself.
But that's exactly, and I don't know even why you're trying to qualify him. You know, I don't even know why you're trying to qualify him. Because he has drawn a very, very thick line when he was prime minister between him and opposition, believing it is a state of affairs that would have continued ad infinitum or indefinitely.
He tried it.
But folks, let me digress a bit, and I'll show you the extent to which those flabos will go to tell lies. Put up those houses for me, please. Put them up. This is a post by Alison Georges, basically saying that Philip J. Pierre called me the worst housing minister, and this is what I built. Folks, this is the Alison Georges. Yeah, you can show the post. I'm not too important. But the first two houses, I want you to focus on them. No, the first two. Can you lower it? The two at the top. Gosh.
At the top, yeah.
Yeah, the two at the top. Yeah, bring it down and focus on it. Focus on those two. Zoom them out so people can see. That is it. Right. Now look, she has God. God has been exposing me. This Alison Georges woman, you need to stop putting God in your lies. Stop putting God in your nonsense. Stop putting God in your dreams. Oh, I had a dream last night and God told me Shasta will save St. Lucia. Leave those two houses there. Folks, this is a flubber post. They said these are houses I built for the people. They did not show all the beautiful ones that I've built. They have not shown Shonun. They have not shown Musa or Jeremiah. But she showed these. Guess what? They don't realize that those two little things were built by their political leader, Alan Shastney, with funds allocated to him from my ministry. Okay? Those were funds allocated to Shastney. He built them, Alison Georges. Okay? So even the flubbers, even the flubber hacks like Alison Georges are ashamed of the things Shastney took government money to do. Huh?
Richard, you're into building and so on, right? Can you give me an estimate of the cost of each one of those?
None of the, well, the back one would cost, the one to the left, sorry, would cost more than the one to the right. But certainly the foundation cost zero money. They went around, cut some big trees, and used them as the columns. But I don't want to dwell too much on that.
Just say that you do not have the competency to value
this thing. But not even that. Shastney has the audacity to take government money and to expose someone to the elements like that in that kind of unsafe thing, and a flubber posting it as though it was me who did it. Huh? Me who did it? Shas, you are the one that did it. Alison Georges, go in his constituency. You will see them. Go there because you have nothing to do with your time. And you will call the radio station and say you dreamt that St. Lucia was sinking and God told you he will send Alan to save us. Kote, Kita. You know, keep dreaming. All you have to do, keep dreaming. But it is your political leader. It is the leader of the United Workers' Party. It is Alan Shastney who built those things for his constituents to live in. So Alison Georges, put that in your pipe if you don't like to hate and smoke it. And if you're ashamed of your leader, tell him so. But for now, keep living in dreamland. You can take it down. You know? You can take it down now. And putting up a post and actually saying, I am responsible. But that is how you all fool the people. That is how you all attempt to fool the people. But you all don't understand. You all provide me with fodder. And you all have, that's your modus operandi. Feed them with misinformation, disinformation, lies and everything else. We will cause distrust. We will cause anxiety. We will cause them to fear the government. So probably that can be used to waltz in. Solutions, don't listen to them. Don't listen. And if you're still dreaming, Alison Georges, you better wake up. Because come whatever day, when Philip Joseph Pierre calls the elections, you have to dream for another 5 years. Now, back to the citizenship and seal of passports. By the way, you know, DBS, why did you delete the entire interview last night episode of She Speaks? That was the name, Albert. She Speaks.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah, She Speaks. Okay. Why, if a show is or was so good that DBS want to disassociate themselves with it, why on earth was it found to delete the entire interview of She Speaks? And guess what? The thing they are good at, you know, them flabos, Labour Party has more intelligent people than you all 10 times. That is a fact. Just list the kind of people, and we have a clip showing who your stalwarts and PR personnel are, you know, and we'll be putting together a clip. Those are the face of flabos. Labour Party people are, I say 10, 20, 25 times more intelligent than you. So when you all believe you all can do something, it's child's play. You all write a speech for Rush and then say, they write a speech, you know. He reads it and they go on all kind of fake profiles. Oh, that was a powerful speech.
Is that thing he did the last time?
The last time. You know, they write it for him. And then they didn't realize what kind of problems that speech would have put him in. You know, and then meeting my driver and telling my driver, I bound to expose your family. Leave me alone. Zot Pakatan. My driver tell them, it's politics, you all interfering with the man. You Pakatan, leave me alone. I expose your family. I kept a lot behind. I kept a lot, God knows I kept a lot behind. From rape and everything else, I kept it behind. You know. So don't come and tell me I interfere with you all for anything. You all need to understand that I think the internet is giving some problems there. Yeah, because we were at 1.4 and it went down to 1.2. Anyhow, and look, it's waiting for signal again. What's going on with this internet? What is going on? Anyway, so they write a speech for Rush and they sell it. Not worthy of repetition, we mean, as though she did not speak.
The bottom line is that they did not want it subjected to scrutiny.
Exactly. And them facing the fire for it because they are in enough hot water as they are already. So basically, let me delete that. But we don't have money. So it was deleted. But like I said, you know, They treated it like the interview with Ben Snemil. Ben, your interview into the den. Trash. She speak, she did not speak. Trash. Now, I rather suspect, in fact, I got a little snippet of a conversation between the host and the guest. The mic was hot. They didn't realize that the mic was hot. And so they said certain things that were not kind to Chasney. So, knowing Richard Frederick, I put out my investigative antenna and I found out that they malparle Chasney bad. But this is a snippet of what we got recorded. Play that for me quickly.
So in those things, Alan doesn't step in. Put his foot down or say, oh, help directly.
The first night I came in, Alan.
So in those things, Alan doesn't step in. Put his foot down or say, oh, help directly.
The first night I came in, Alan.
So in those things, Alan doesn't step in.
You know, and you heard a big sigh. But all of them, in one way or the other, malparle Chasney. There's malparle him. But you see, when you have a man like Prevail, Titus Prevail, he will do it boldly. He will do it boldly. I don't have time to play Chasney's response. Chasney attacked them and right there, you know. Chasney attacked Prevail. Right there. I think I may have it later in one of the clips. But for now, I want to press on. But all of them are afraid of Chasney, but they would not say it. Prevail was bold enough to call them reckless. But one of the most outrageous comments or statements made last night by somebody who, in my view, is totally deranged, delusional, and in fact has a false sense of, what would I say? Superiority. That is it, my boy. She has a false sense of superiority. That I am in charge. I am the one responsible. I call the shots. And then says 60,000 passports were sold. Folks, that came from Martinez, ably assisted by Lisa Joseph and DBS. A blatant lie. And I will not only tell you, as I said earlier, I will show you the number of citizenships applied for under this government, applied for under Chasney, and you will see what was granted under this government. You will see what was granted under Chasney, and you will see which government granted the greater percentage of applications received. Okay? Folks, put up the charts for me, please. But I want to concentrate. You want to scroll down. Let me just concentrate on the first one. Zoom it out a bit so we could see it larger, right? And bring it down. Bring it down, please. Right. Good. Applications received between 2016 and 2021. Good. Between 2016 and 2021, a UWP government led by Alan Chasney, it's there, the information is there, and all of that information is at the Citizenship by Investment Unit at Waterfront. I don't just say this and that. I show, like Natuki say, I show receipts. Good night, Natuki. I show receipts. A UWP government received a total 2016, 36, year 2, 345, year 3, 152, year 4, 193, and in 2021, 1,383 applications. Okay? That totals 1,109 applications. That's how I deal with things. I deal with evidence. Not there's 60,000 passports. Sakwe bava. Sakwe kuyo. Sakwe mate. Good. Now, let us see. So far, a Labour Party government, we don't have the statistics for 2025 yet, because 2025 is not yet over. So we know Flabo got 1,109 applications. The Labour government, it's there. 2022, no. Right there, leave it there, black boy. 2021 to 22, 583 applications. 2023, 24, 1,076. And 23 to 24, 5,642 applications. Good. So, excluding 2025, the Labour government has received 7,301 applications. Okay? Folks, that is as factual as you can find it. Okay? Up to December last year, this government, this administration, has received 7,301 applications. For obvious reasons, in the latter part, in the years just gone, more people want to become citizens of St. Lucia. More people. Look at that spike last year. We all know why that happened. Juju was the one that spearheaded that. Everybody wants to be a citizen. People want to come be a citizen of where Juju came from. So, we all know they got 1,109 applications. We got 7,301 applications. Because of Juju, good governance, stable government, good thriving economy, the economy was doing very well. All those reasons, people want to come down here. Now, those were applications received. Keep those numbers in mind. Flabo in the 5 years, 1,109. UWP up to December last year, 7,301. Let's go to granted. Just go up. Applications granted. Good. Now, out of the 1,109 applications that was received by Flabo, in year 1 they granted 17, in year 2 188, in year 3 210, in year 4 143, and in year 5 313. Okay? So Flabo granted total citizenships of 871. Okay? 871 citizenships were granted by the United Workers' Party out of 1,109 applications. Hear this? Let me repeat that. They granted 871 out of 1,109 applications received. That means they granted 78.54% of persons who applied. So for every 10 people, they approve almost 8. Moi, je les écouter ça bien. Pour chaque 10 moun qui a fait application pour venir au Saint-Lucien, Flabo by 8 passports. Okay? Good. Under this current government, the year 2021 to 2022, 433 passports, 22 to 23, 544, and 23 to 24, 1,171 citizenships. Totaling 2,148 passports. This is it. This is it. Okay? This is it. This means, folks, Labour Party granted 2,148 out of 7,300 applications. Are you with me, Albert?
Yep.
Are you understanding the mass, Albert?
Yep.
That means
I'm just wondering where that 60,000 come from.
A figment of the imagination.
But it's
This
a
means,
huge
folks,
figment.
It's huge. This means, folks, that for every 10 people pour chaque 10 moun qui fait application pour venir cette lycée, flambeau et chasse by 8. The St. Lucia Labour Party government did not even reach 30% of the applications. The approval rate is 29.42%. Do the maths, anybody. Do the maths. Do the maths. So, compare the 78% Chaste approve with the 29%. 29% this government has approved. That means Chaste has, in percentage terms, granted more than 3 times what the St. Lucia Labour Party government has approved. Those are facts. Those are facts. Those are facts. Don't come and tell us nonsense. We have granted only 29% of applications. Chaste granted 78.54. We have granted less than 1/3 or about 1/3 in terms of percentage of what Chaste approved. And the total applications up to December last year, approved by this government, of which I am a part, is 2,148 citizenships we have granted. And I challenge any one of you flabo hacks. I challenge any one of you flabo hacks. Come with empirical evidence. Come with the data. Come with the documents. Go and get them at the Citizenship office. Go and get them there and challenge me. Challenge the veracity of the information I now put forth. Challenge me.
Richard, I didn't watch the interview with the lady. I don't make time for those. But I
still want to ask, where are the 60,000 passports that you all are speaking about? For 60,000 is 1/3 of our population. And for every 3 persons, you should see a foreigner.
Yeah, no, but that's exactly what I'm saying, Richard. If you are going to quote figures, you don't say by our estimation. You don't say that. Because this is serious stuff. This is serious figures you're quoting there. It cannot be by our estimation. That's absolute rubbish. You don't do that. If you've got the figures, you quote the figures. But you can't be quoting something as serious as that and say by our estimation. Absolute nonsense.
2,000 folks, 148. And you all can go back to that, take pictures of the clip and challenge them. Challenge them. Because I don't do it like them. I don't do it by estimation or just go and spew. They've made billions of dollars. Where the money goes. And the worst thing, the 43%ers believe
they're preaching that, Richard.
Billions of dollars. Where is it? Mm-hmm. Where is it? Where are the 60,000 people? Where they gone? Where they gone? Imagine Castries Central has about 9,000 people. Let's say 10,000. That's 6 constituencies like Central Castries. Dennery South, that probably has about 3,000 or 4,000 people. That's about 10, more than 10 of Dennery constituencies. Where are the people? Where are they? Where are they? Stop the foolishness, man. And St. Lucians, it's time to demand evidence. When they tell you they do a poll, show it. Show the polls like I show them. And I will show you what the pollster told them some time ago. That's why they keep attacking me. I'll remind you, I've shown it before. Oh, the polls, show me the poll. and then they go and do a graph. You know, I will show you what the pollster said. I will, I'm coming. So I need to ask, where are the 60,000 passports? You know, do you all believe Martinez, ably assisted by Lisa Joseph, is not a journalist, she's a journalist. You know, you cannot be a journalist. No investigative skill, no tact, no journalistic research, no journalistic prowess or expertise. Lisa Joseph, in my view, is a refined version of Jugwa. Pa wol bola oui, depi yo di mwen do. So moun gadi nepot bagay give way. I don't operate like that. I operate with data and empirical evidence. That's what I do. And I challenge any one of you flabberhacks to prove to me that up to December last year, we had granted more than 2,148 citizenships. I challenge you all that, because all you all do is rely on hearsay, spew lies, deceit, and look, you have a situation here of lies, deceit, misinformation, and disinformation versus government records. Government records. So I still ask, where are the 60,000 passports? Albert.
Yeah, Richard, just right quick. I know we're going to get to that again, but I think Lisa Joseph has done herself a great disservice because she seemed to have had this sense of entitlement. Lisa just should have recognized that she was a political appointee. Mm-hmm. If you are a political appointee and your party fails at the polls, Richard, you should just expect to walk. Mm-hmm. And if they happen to keep you for some reason and you want to stay, whatever,
say praise the Lord.
Say praise the Lord. But you should expect to walk.
But right now, she's showing her true colors, not so?
But it is because they asked her to leave, right? They didn't keep her. So she has now gotten this rage against the government and against
But then again, it would have shown you how dangerous it would have been to have kept a character like that within your ranks.
Because I disagree with you on one thing. Lisa was coming up quite well in the journalism business. She was coming up quite well, but now she's just, that girl has just taken all her credibility, right, and chucked it in the garbage.
Where it belongs.
You know? She hitched her wagon to Martinez. And you should have seen the desperation, with this whole Martinez thing. She just looked bad. She looked absolutely bad with this whole Martinez thing. Hitch her wagon to Martinez. And where's Martinez now?
Martinez Filipio.
Even when Martinez was finished with that, she still wanted to push it.
Yes. I'll get into that because Martinez told us stuff. I'll get into it. Even the governor of the ECCB, Lisa, is asking a question that is so far-fetched from reality that he's shocked.
Yeah.
Where that come from?
What are you talking about? What are you
Martinez, the fraudster, tell you that. So, folks, all those people they lie, they deceive. And guess what? The facts can easily be found. The facts can be found. Documentary evidence is there. And I believe in it. This is what I believe in. And the flabbos seem to forget completely once it's convenient. Folks, ever since I came into politics, all sorts of stories have been made up about me. I expect that. Because no one has to tell me I am a firebrand politician. No one has to tell me that. Makaban Boswe, Francis Rob, good night. No one has to tell me I'm a firebrand politician. So I will attract criticism from any side I decide to oppose. And that's granted. What they can never do, ever do, is to find me guilty of any criminal wrongdoing. Because I will never go down that road. The Almighty God has blessed me with a profession. My mother worked hard to send me to university. Crime and criminal involvement can never be part of my forte. I made a lot of money practicing criminal law. A lot of money. and I invested it wisely. But and if I could have been caught, the Americans would have had me, Shastney would have had me, all of those with a beneficial interest in my incarceration. When Shastney could not do it through the criminal trenches, what did he do? He tried to jail me for a civil matter. For a civil matter. But those around him who are the true criminals, they run away. But so be it. The good thing is, the people of Castries Central have been around me. They have seen me for 19 years. I am a crime boss. I'm coming to you again, Lisa. But you can show me not even an iota of evidence of my involvement in even smoking a joint, far less selling one. But you know, I have been attacked. Stories have been made about me because, like I said, I know I can breathe fire when I want to. I can deliver, and nobody has to confirm that to me. I know that is an ability that God gave to me, and only God can take it from me. Only Him. But I'll tell you something. I believe in one thing: facts and facts alone. No one would have me to take a political platform and spew lies. Nobody. And I challenge anyone to get a clip. And on all of them, I could get lie after well, Shastney, Guy, Spider. I could get millions of lies. I challenge any one of you to take any clip of Richard Frederick on political platform or anywhere on this show spewing a blatant lie. Okay? I don't believe in it. I believe in facts, just as I am. And I'm coming to Marcella Johnson. I'll revisit you. You know, I am not like Shastney, who opens his mouth and just say anything. I have shown it before, and I want to remind our viewers of what their concern. All the polls they did, they cannot show. But I will show you their poll. I've shown it to you before, and I've shown you in their handbook where certain things came from. I will remind you of what the pollsters said to Shastney and his goons about me. But before I come to me, let me show you what they said about Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre. Let me remind you. Show them what they said about Philip J. Pierre. During the SLP campaign, you want to read it, Albert? Go ahead.
Yes. During the SLP campaign, Philip Pierre was painted as a leader you can trust. This cannot continue to be pushed by UWP leaders who say, although he is known for his credibility, the more you say this, the more your supporters will believe you. The poll shows that the country believes he is a good guy. They just do not believe he is a risk taker or makes fast decisions like Mr. Shastney. You must show that he encourages corruption, and that makes him corrupt as well.
Leave that there for me a second. Folks, this was exactly what Titus Previll said, that Alan makes fast decisions without thinking. That's exactly what and Peter King as well.
He's reckless.
Exactly. And that is what his own pollster is saying. He takes or makes fast decisions. Take it down. Folks, this is, you can take it down now. This is what their own pollster said. That was repeated. Well, Peter King was the first one to say that. He makes fast decisions, he's reckless.
Yes.
The pollster said it. Then his own man, what's his name?
Titus
Previll said Alan is not the kind of man. Philip J. Pierre is more measured. He said so.
Steady as you go.
Kind of guy.
Yeah, steady hand on the tiller.
Yeah. But Alan acts with spontaneity. And basically, he's reckless.
Yeah.
I didn't say that pollster said it.
So Alan is like sort of, that's a good idea, Richard.
Yeah, let's do it. That's correct. Days after you assume office, you sign the DSH deal. Recklessness. And then the pollsters also showed them the likability report. Put up the likability report for me, please. Good. Likability report. See who's last on the labor on the Flabo side for me.
I can't.
You can't see it. She speaks.
Oh yes. Yes. Number 17.
Number 17, yes.
Yeah,
I didn't make it. Look at where Guy Joseph is. And I could tell you, Guy Joseph is lower now. And so is Chasney, who was at number 6. Philip J. Pierre, Kenson, Jeremiah, Richard Frederick. And I believe now, right now.
Number 16, Janet. Where is number 16? Anyway, I'm not hearing anything about number 16.
Oh, no, I don't know. Number 16 is no longer in existence.
Okay.
Look at where Richard Frederick is. And I can bet you Richard Frederick probably has gone 1 or 2 places higher. Because the pollsters told you all my likability is increasing. Put up what they said about Richard Frederick and this show for me. Good. Albert, read that and read it loud.
Richard Frederick's television show is detrimental to the UWP's quest to regain governance.
Say that, read that again.
Richard Frederick's television show is detrimental to the UWP's quest to regain government.
Good.
In fact, his likability index has increased over the years.
Very well.
The UWP cannot let the Bananes Bay land issue rest. Instead, show the comparison of the waterfront land sold for $25 to Reno's daughter versus the land valued at $1,000 in Castries.
Hold on there. Folks, you remember Alan was always mentioning $1,000 a square foot?
Yes.
You remember? So you all see where it came from? The handbook? Go ahead. The pollster.
Because the lawyer, Petra, is his friend, he stands to benefit from the sale at $1,000 a square foot. Use credible persons to discredit him, such as
Frank Myers. Nobody. Now hold on. You all remember Frank Myers had written a post about that? Remember that?
Let me compose myself. As I saw that name, Frank Myers, I lost my.
You all remember that?
Yeah.
So what they are doing is not by accident. Those are instructions from the pollsters and the consultants. This show is detrimental. My likability is increasing. Keep on attacking me and the show. You can take it down. So right now, you all know where Chasney got his $1,000 a cliff, $1,000 a square foot from. And you all know who instructed Frank Myers, unfortunately referred to as a credible person.
Is that the same fellow?
The tsunami.
The tsunami is going to hit a tsunami dedicated to Castries Comprehensive School.
No wonder tsunami there. It will rise wide in the outer seas.
Yes.
As
it approaches. Compre.
So take out the school from there. Papa Chasney. Nonsense. So they got that thing from the pollsters and the consultants. So folks, the Bananes issue, I blow it away. I blow it away because it is crap. And today, after 57 years, NHC has its own headquarters, complements the Bananes land, valued at $3.5 million and totally paid for. Under my watch, we stopped paying rent and we have our own office. I guess y'all wanted us to continue paying almost $20,000 a month in rent. So Shasti would move them to one of their properties. So I blew that away. I blew it away. Now, at the meetings, the plan written in the handbook of the United Workers' Party is keep attacking Richard Frederick. Keep on attacking Richard Frederick. Y'all should ask Shastney, with what? With the same old stuff I've been hearing for the last 19 years that will not sway the people, move the needle, not even 1 millionth of an inch. Huh? with what? The people see me every day. They know me. They know what I stand for. I'm not perfect. I could never be. Could never be. But when I hear accusations and blah, 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 and rush, oh Lord, you know, it has not worked and it will never work. I want to say this to your flowers. I have run elections 4 times and I've won all 4. I will run again. When the people's servant in chief, that's how I will call you from now, Mr. Prime Minister. You are elected to serve and you are serving wonderfully. You are doing an immaculate job. You are doing a job that is befitting of a man on a throne, but you need no throne. Your humility does not permit you to step beyond your people. You are down on the ground with them. So, Master Servant Philip Joseph Pierre, I will run again. I've won 4. I will win 5. There's no question about that. And I will win again and again and again until the good Lord says to me, boy, you've had enough. You've had enough. Get out. So no flabos, none whatsoever. Whether you are in St. Lucian, whether you are in St. Lucia or a St. Lucian, whether you come from Matnik or you come here, whether you are a product of Canada or Guyana, none of you can run me out of this country. You all have flabo there as though it's CARICOM. Javini Tupatu, CARICOM. The same CARICOM Shaste wants to dismantle. The same way he's dismantling flabo, he wants to dismantle everything he touches. You know? But none of you can get this political giant out of politics. It is when he and the Almighty says, boy, get out. I will make a conscious decision to stop serving the people of this great country. So will and come again. So the consultant asked them to attack me. Attack me. Yeah, attack me. And that is what they do. They place it in the handbook. At every turn, those instructions are complied with. You know, there is one agenda item, only one, because they are following the consultant's instructions. Play that clip for me, please.
Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick. Jubilant supporters carried Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
I have the files that Richard Frederick spoke about. Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick is a racist.
Richard Frederick.
We must never allow him to resurrect himself in politics again.
Richard Frederick. And
you're ready to take Shasney to court, Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
You fire one, is a firing squad we opening on you.
Are you ready to win? Are you ready to take our country back? Are you ready to take our country back? Our country back.
Richard Frederick.
I will come back for you worse than ever before.
I don't need politics to survive, and I don't need the mentorship of Richard Frederick.
We made the mistake last election. We thought the people knew better about Richard Frederick, but they didn't.
Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
How can you form a government with this?
Richard.
You know, at every turn, folks, they attack me. They attack me, and I must shut up. Now, you, Marcella, and Flabos, including Guy Joseph, what did you all say? All of a sudden, Marcella, you come on platform, and it's Richard Frederick. Richard Frederick. Say you didn't expect a man in big office, in high office, to disrespect women. That's how you all put it. To gain women support and sympathy. Sapakai to avai, women love me, and I love them. Okay? So, nonsense alone you all are doing. Nonsense alone. But Guy Joseph, where were you when Sir John told me Menisa, my apologies. I have an aversion to that name, so my apologies. Where were you when Sir John told Melissa, come and you will see what a toothless tiger can do? Where were you? What did you say about that? Sir John was our longest serving leader of government. What did you all say? At least, Menisa was young. Menisa looked good. So Sir John said that. Probably I would have said the same thing. But if I make a statement, what did I say? You don't want me as your mentor if you want blah, blah, blah. Women. Marcella. Awa. Marcella. Awa. You know, but that is what y'all hags do. That is what y'all hags do. You know, y'all will do anything to attack Richard Frederick. At least when Sir John said that, like I said, Menisa Rambali was not married. She was not married. She had never been married twice. She never stole anybody's husband. You know, so she was eligible. But Marcella don't have that kind of eligibility in my view. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? You know, the thing is, y'all can attack me. Y'all can attack me incessantly, but it's okay when it's not okay when I respond. Guy Joseph, where were you when Sir John's daughter accused a sitting minister not of saying something on TV, you know. Not of saying something on TV, you know. But of sexual harassment in his office. It was on the news. Where were you? What did you say? What did you say? I said something in jest. On TV, en passant. In response to an attack on me. In response to an attack on me. But should this ever see the face of reality, I will decline, I can assure you. Because the criteria for eligibility to enter those echelons do not exist in the individual who believes she has the wherewithal. Definitely not. Definitely not. Okay? I said something in jest in response to an attack on me. And y'all are making an issue of that. Y'all too hypocrite. C'est ça qui veut. But I'll tell y'all flabberhack something. Your consultant or pollster was right when he said this show is detrimental to you. Yes, he was right. He was right. It's no wonder. You know, I'm getting a call. Embassies for sale, I understood. I said, I don't know about that. There's somebody who's interested in a cash sale and they can close quickly. So you all want to close embassy? You all want to buy embassy? I'm not saying it's you all or somebody. No, embassy is not for sale. But I'll tell you all this. Even if the money is good and it's accepted, even if it's under a step, can I help you? Will continue. We have WeTV. Black Boy reminded me. We have another television station on standby. So behave. Behave. Because now I'm putting one and one together. If I know if embassy is a sale, cash transaction, blah, blah, blah. You know, election cabinet. Because you all have made many attempts, and I'll tell solutions. Mac Barrage has made many attempts to stop this show. Oh, yes, he has. Oh, yes, he has. But this show will go on. This show will go on. And by the way, last I heard, when I spoke to Linford Favre, he wanted to sell HTS. So since CW Studio, HTS. Because WeTV, we're coming. So folks, it is Richard Frederick. But there's an old saying that persons never throw stones at green mangoes. Neither does a thief attempt to break into a house which he knows is empty. And it seems Richard Frederick is the agenda is the policy direction that the United Workers' Party want to proceed if and when they get into office in 2222. When all of them will be dead, and so will I. Take a listen to the policies, folks. Take a listen to the policies.
Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick.
The fact that Richard Frederick.
And if Richard Frederick.
And that is Richard Frederick.
That Richard Frederick.
In Richard Frederick.
Because the same Richard Frederick.
Richard Frederick. And you are disgrace to the human race. You are despicable individual. Richard Frederick. You remember a fellow called Richard Frederick?
Richard Frederick.
We're getting frustrated and you think that we are distracted and you think that we're focusing on the Richard Frederick narrative too much. And I said it and I will say it again. Richard Frederick.
I want to talk to you about something which is very, very important. Something which can have a huge impact on the very future of this country. Something deadly serious. Tonight, I want to speak to you briefly about Laja Bless and Bolon.
Of the United Workers' Party. Sadly, we have to go for a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. No more than 30 seconds. I find you wasting time between.
You're watching MBC.
The winning numbers for the evening draw of Thursday, 14th August 2025 were tic-tac-toe, 4, 6, 13, 14, 15, 18, 21. Big 4, 5, 9, 5, 2. Big 4 multi-X, FP. Pick 2, 1, 8. Pick 2 multi-X, 2X. 1 off, 3, 9, 3. Lucky 3, 8, 7, 4. Lucky 3 multi-X, 2X.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Clans Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Albert, yes, over to you.
Oh,
you was giving some shout out.
Oh, okay, right. Yes, I see. My good favorite magistrate, retired Judge Lorraine Williams. Good night. Mm-hmm. Yes, Noella Estones. Good night. Good night to you. Prentice. Good night, good sir. Walter Melius. Good night. Nises. Andre McCombie. This man does.
So
this man does give me trouble if I don't give him a shout out.
Yeah, I know.
Andre McCombie, good night, sir.
Lionel.
Yes. Oh, Lio, good night. Yes. Maria Ambrose, good night. Val, good night, huh? Good night, Val.
Yeah,
don't lock the door, Mr. Yes. Good night.
Anyway.
Cornelia Jacob.
Good night. Okay, folks. We're going right back into it. I'll do all my shout outs at the end. Everybody, I have 100 and something messages on one end and another 80 something. I'll do that afterwards, but we have serious business. But I must say, let me just say, could you put up the pics of Yadi's place for me, please? Yadi will have his grand opening on the 29th. Yes, man. The 29th of August, right there at the corner of, what's that? John Compton Highway and Jabati Street. Right there, opposite Massey's Supermarket. So on waterfront. So
when is your opening?
The 29th of August. What day is that? That's what? A Friday. Friday the 29th of August. So today is the 14th. This Friday is the 16th. The 15th. So it's not Friday coming, it's the following one. So yeah, we will be by Yadi on the 29th for his grand opening.
And yes. Is Papa Vader in just that same area?
No, Papa Vader is on the other side. Okay. Yes. So yes, folks. Yes, folks. And because it is so important to them to discredit Richard Frederick and to put an end to this channel of factual information. They say all kinds of things about me. All now so Shasta spewing rubbish about me. I associated with this, I associated with that. If I were to tell you who in your life I was associated with, they'll say, I bad talk people, so I live in there. I live in there. But all I do, if I tell you Shasta rented businesses from himself, I will show you the evidence. If I tell you Shasta sold them all for less than 1/3 of the value, I will show you the evidence. I don't come and spew nonsense. I come with facts. And so they don't want the listening public to hear the facts. They don't want the electorate to make a determination on facts. They want to lie, spread dis and misinformation, deceive you, and tell you this is what it really is. From before the elections of 2021, McMahon sued me. It was before the elections of 2021. Yes, he sued me. During the term of Flabo, he sued me. He sued me for himself. He sued me for Shasta. He sued me for Shasta's wife. He sued me for Estefan. I was a target. Oh, yes, I was. Oh, yes, I was. He sued me for himself because I said, which is a fact, that his gas station was open during COVID. He sued me for Estefan because I spoke of the incident under Estefan's house. Everything I said was a fact. He sued me for Shasta and for Shasta's wife because I said Shasta's wife had a wife's lawsuit there, that she is a director of a company that owns lands next to where Shasta gave Tiwaki. That's all I said, and I repeat it tonight. He sued me. He sued me, yes. Facts alone, they sue me on. But you know, I said she's a director of the company. A fact. They own land next to where they gave Tiwaki. A fact. But they sued me. But in each of the cases, McMahon sued me. And that is what they do. They attack me. And then they send their surrogates out to attack me, hoping they'll defeat me. Hoping they'll defeat me. But they don't know. They don't know I am a Goliath in my own right. In each of the cases they sued me, they sued embassy as well. And they came with dangling carrots in front of embassy, saying to embassy, get Richard off the air and we'll withdraw the lawsuit against you. We will remove the names of embassy on every lawsuit. That did not work. McDowell stood by my side. And for you, McDowell, I want to express overtly my eternal gratitude to you. Not for what you did for me, but what you did for the people of St. Lucia. Because what I did was for the people. I could not have done it without your help. All you had to do was pull the plug for the fear of a lawsuit. And then, in every case he sued me, he sued Flo as well. And guess what? They dangle the same carrot in front of Flo. What I have been through, folks, the Prime Minister always says he'll write a book. And that book would make for an interesting read. Mine would be very, very interesting. And so they dangle a carrot in front of Flo. They sued Flo as well. Richard Frederick, Flo, McDowell, the defendants, for something I said. And what did they tell Flo? They dangled the carrot. McMaraj dangled the carrot again. Cut the feed from MBC when Richard Frederick is on, and we will withdraw the lawsuit against you. You know what I had to do, folks? And I did it for the country, not for myself. I did it to ensure that we as St. Lucians got rid of Chasney. And the effort I've made in that regard is second to none. And I'm not afraid to say it. I was incessant. I was persistent. I was determined. You know what I had to do? I had to go and sign personal undertakings at Flo's lawyer's office, who were prepared to ask Flo to permit me to continue doing my show, only if I gave them an undertaking that I would be personally responsible for damages if they were found liable. And I signed it. I signed. I had to do all of this. I had to do it. I said I'm going to do it. Could not permit Alan Chasney to run the affairs of this country. And I can show persons the personal undertaking that I had to give. So if Flo is found liable, Richard Frederick will pay. And those were surrogates that were hired to come at me. But when they come at me, McMaraj came at me. He came at me, he came at MBC, he came at Flo, hoping that either MBC or Flo would have taken the bait, and cut the show off. McDowell stood by me. And for Flo, I went to the lawyer's office and I signed personal undertakings. That if Flo is found liable, I'm saying it publicly, I will repeat it. If Flo is found liable, I will pay. And I did it without telling anybody. Those are the sacrifices I have made for the betterment of this country. And I thank God my sacrifices are bearing fruit for the good people of this country. Okay? I place my personal resources at risk. Personal resources. And this has nothing to do with the Labour Party. It's just, I didn't even know about it. It is me and me alone. And I did it for the sake of St. Lucia. Because Flabo had this country in disarray. They did not want people to hear facts. They did not want facts to reach St. Lucians. And so they're hiring people. When they cannot say Richard Frederick, they hired McMaraj to come at me. But I was prepared to put my money where my mouth is because all I speak are facts. Okay? All I speak are facts. And I was prepared to put my money where my mouth is and put my resources on the line for the sake of my country. because I am confident, I was confident that when the people of this country heard the facts, they would understand and empathize with me. And they so did, and the result of the election was 15-2. Because knowledge is power. And when your people know the truth, you empower them. I am sure after tonight, when a flabber will go and tell anybody they sell 60,000 passports, they'll ask them for the evidence. All of it is at the CIP unit. Everything I say I can prove. The sale of the mall, the this, Shastney renting to himself, selling land for T.O.R. King, 37 cents, $3 and something cents a square foot next to the airport, leasing property, $1 an acre. Anything I say I can prove with documents. You know, I am not a politician who thrives on the ignorance of the people. I never will. I never ever will. You know, when you hear people like Guy Joseph, in the heights of his ignorance, will keep his people in darkness to capitalize on their ignorance. When I hear Guy Joseph open his mouth and speak of period, not even Haiti, Guy Joseph not even reading enough to acquaint himself with global problems, that period poverty is actually, it's like a pandemic hitting the people of this globe. And then he wants to equate us with Haiti, not realizing it's all over Canada, the UK, Australia, Germany, Jamaica, name it, it's there. But he spoke of not even Haiti. And it is that kind of ignorance that causes me to have the greater quest and zeal to elucidate and enlighten our people.
Richard, while you're on that period poverty thing with Guy Joseph, first of all, I have to say, you know, is the confidence
with which he speaks,
with which the man spoke of ignorance, you know, dedicated ignorance, and he's speaking it with such confidence, right? But your friend Marcella, she mentioned something about the period poverty thing, you know, and she said that it's a good thing, but then she had to throw a little spoke in the wheel saying that, why now? Why now? But Richard, are you aware that your government has been dealing with period poverty from 2023?
Well, they may have been doing it, but it was not done overtly, and no publicized policy statement had been made.
Yes.
So now that it has, it attracts opposition for opposition's sake.
But what I'm saying is the fact that Marcella is saying, why now? I mean,
oh yes, okay, yeah.
Why now?
Again, she's expressing ignorance of what we used to do before.
You know, why now? As if, well, it's a gimmick for elections. But the government has been dealing with this from 2023.
Well, you see, again, it's that kind of ignorance. You know, it is that kind of ignorance. And Guy Joseph expresses ignorance, as you quite rightly said, with total confidence. You know, a global pandemic, you know, a problem that we have in the world. Then I heard Guy Joseph talking about, we passed the law. We passed the law on Burberry as though government can change a court decision. And persons clapping.
No, but he said
because,
cabinet.
No, we'll be playing the clip. We'll be playing the clip. Because I don't like to say they say. I like people to hear exactly what they said. You know, and people clap not knowing better. You know, imagine now, elections in Guyana are due on the 1st of September. And the finale, the current president has made a campaign promise to remove taxes, all taxes, to basically assist in the period poverty situation. A campaign promise in Guyana that has so much oil, whose GDP grew the largest in the world. In Guyana, but you say not even in Haiti, and it speaks to the ignorance, the heightened ignorance expressed with such confidence by a man who does not know better. So they keep on attacking.
And yet he says he knows better. I know better.
You know? So they try to dismantle this show. All of them attacked me. They used Mac Mirage. He sued me left, right, and center. You know? And in suing me, he sued NBC. He sued Flo. So he dangles the carrot. Withdraw the show, NBC. Withdraw the show. I'll withdraw the case against you. Flo, we have stop the feed. I'll withdraw the case. I took it on my own to give undertakings because the show, as the consultant told them, the pollster told them, this show is detrimental and it is here to stay. So they employed, they used the surrogate Mac Mirage. Then they used Dale Elliott, came with a document in the press briefing on a Monday morning saying it was the impacts report and that I was implicated. And they deceitfully printed a document, placed it on social media, and say it was an extract of the impacts report. Me, and my name was in there. Well, as you all know, the same way I dismantled this Banana foolishness, I dismantled this and threw it right where it came from, in the garbage. In the garbage, you know. And you know, folks, just like all those guys do is basically try to deceive people. Try to deceive people. Try to fool the electorate. You know, try to fool the electorate. They took a picture on the internet. Show those two pictures side by side for me. Side by side. Took a picture of the internet and put our heads, 4 of our heads on the pictures. And they even put stars on the feet of those persons in the pictures and say, put them for me up, please. Say they are SLP boys. You know, look at this. SLP boys, look the original. Folks, look at that. The one on the right is the original. The one on the left, they change their heads. They put stars on the shoes. You all see that? They put stars on the shoes. And they say it is the SLP boys. That will have you all to win an elections, man. That will have you all to win an elections. That is the kind of foolishness, the kind of nastiness that they do. How on earth can that win Flabo an election? How on earth you could take it down? People were fighting on a plane. That has nothing to do with us. St. Lucia finished. People are fighting on plane. Not here, you know, overseas. Then a man got injured on another plane in a fight. Richard Frederick was arrested for beating this man. When will you all stop?
But don't forget the one, Richard, where they were from America. They were deporting.
Yes, they were deporting people. They said those people are on their way to St. Lucia. And just like the evidence of Martinez never got there, the plane never landed.
Up to the day?
No, it has not landed. It's in the air. You know, because you all are just doing foolishness, crap alone. That will not win you all an election. How can you win an election with that? How? How? America outlined its policy. Breaking news. They take our visas. Gosh. When will you all stop? Come with factual information. The thing is, Flabo has too many. It starts with the leader. He's unintelligent. So he'll speak about allegations. He'll speak about anything that comes to his mind. Anything that comes to Shasta's mind, he'll spew it. And now he is in a state of desperation. Because our homegrown is going to beat you again. Our homegrown will be prime minister for another term. And that is hurting you. So you're in desperation mode. The man just says anything at all. And his consultant said so. I said so long before he was even elected leader. Peter King said so. And now Titus Prevail. All of us are wrong, including 3 of them who support you. Your own consultant, your own candidate, and your own friend. The man is reckless with his words. He's reckless with what he says. Anything will do.
Impetuous, you know? Reckless.
So, folks, that is what they engage in. Spewing propaganda. And that is in the handbook. Attack Richard Frederick. Attack him. Dismantle the show. Attack him. So they try to dismantle the show. with McMaraj. That didn't work. So they keep on attacking. That's not working. They employ one surrogate, deletion, under the bush. McMaraj under the bush, you know. And, you know, deletion, when he came with this thing, I said the man comes with a figment of his imagination to even suggest I was implicated in the impacts report. But that was quickly blown away. So they now recruited a woman, Lisa Joseph, who in my view, Herman Gill, I come to you. I must come to you. I must come to you. I'll see you in Bele in a while. In Bele, I come into Bele. Recruited Lisa Joseph to do their dirty work. Very shallow. Lisa Joseph lacks any analytical skill and in my view has a very low IQ. And she is unconcerned about facts. But like I said, Tandy Flood, the son of Jugba, that's my boy, you know. That's my boy. But you nothing like Jugba, so don't worry, Tandy. She's a refined version of Jugba. Digo way. Excuse me. Which respectable journalist just puts out or spew out anything they are told without any kind of research or finding evidence in substantiation? Who does that? Who does that? And that reminds me of Herman Gill. Says anything. But we're coming to you. We're coming to you. Or Powell Bolawi. Powell Bolawi. You know, no real journalistic skill and no real journalist dabbles in the perpetuation of propaganda or misinformation or disinformation. You hear something? Do like me. Get a page from my book without me blowing my own trumpet. Go do your research. Acquaint yourself with the facts. Get documents and then report. Lisa Joseph, you lack that skill. You do. When you can take for gospel what a convicted felon says to you, you believe him so much that you interview him 5 or 6 times. 5 or 6. He almost became a staple on DBS programming. And all of a sudden, you are presenting what this man says without one supporting document, not one piece of paper as the truth. Really, Lisa?
What did Timothy Polian say? She should be given, what is it? One said he should be given citizenship. And
yes, Jan Gustav said he should be given citizenship.
He should be given a medal.
A medal. All sorts of nonsense. All sorts of crap. A convicted felon. And it just speaks to you all just putting your political loyalty over the interests of this country. That's all it speaks to. You put your political loyalty over interest of country, you know. And he said 2 years ago, he was going to look for evidence. One call from Canada saying, yes, Martinez will come, shall still come with the evidence. You know, excuse me, how can any journalist fall for a man who has gone to prison in 2 continents in the world for fraud? For fraud. And present him as any kind of credible source to the people of this country. You need to take stock of yourself. And in that regard, I want to compliment Miguel Frederick. Miguel, you have written, in my view, the best research story of recent time. That was when you did this story about McMaraj in relation to the Shefari lands. Everything Miguel said, everything, he exhibited a piece of paper in substantiation. Everything he said. Bravo to you, Miguel. And when I met Miguel, I said, boy, I didn't know you have that skill. He said, but Richard, I have to learn from you. That's what he said to me. Miguel Frederick, hats off to you. You know, Lisa Joseph does not have that skill. Martinez gave you a bullshit story, excuse my language. He gave you a nonsensical story, an asinine story. You have the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, or DBS. You are interviewing him. And that reminds me of Andre Paul. Another one with I don't know. I don't know if he has a brain. You have the Prime Minister. Are you talking about, Richard disrespect women? That just the Prime Minister. Huh? Propaganda from Flabo. Rather than, how's the economy? What are you doing to bolster the economic activity? How would you grow GDP? But that's too deep for Andre. Sadly, he's a superficial man. Richard women. Nonsense. So Lisa doesn't have that skill. And I'm saying you have the governor of the ECCB. You have the right man that could tell us of the entire Eastern Caribbean and the economic activity and who grows and how fast they grow and who is doing the best. You're telling the man about Martinez told you, on which you had done no research. And guess what? The man was so surprised. The governor of the ECCB was so surprised. Where that came from, I never heard about that. Because a convicted fraudster had said it to Lisa, and she never investigated the veracity. She never attempted to substantiate it. She just asked it to the governor. My God. The man had not done anything that Martinez said was the truth. And in relation to Dominica.
And he refuted it anyway.
Of course he did. Yeah. But it's not even to refute it. Not hearing of it. And it would have been such an indentation in the economic reputation of the country that obviously as governor, he would have known.
Yes.
So it was not something he had to refute. If he had not heard it, it was not worthy of refutal. But he did anyway.
Yes.
And it's the same way I had the Prime Minister of Dominica on this program. I interviewed him, all of you heard. And in response to something Martinez again said, he was so surprised. He knew nothing about that. But Lisa was spewing that kind of narrative.
But Richard, if I may, it's the fact that Martinez was openly trying to extort St. Kitts.
Exactly.
Open, and then he decided, why not extend that to St. Lucia?
Exactly. But that should have been a red flag. The man overtly said, I am doing this for monetary purpose.
And you all are attempting to assist. You all are St. Lucians attempting to assist this man.
You remember the Pastor Quim from wherever asking persons to make a contribution or sign or whatever, and each will get to how much? 100,000 US. That is what we got to. That is what we got. Folks, think back, man. Think back. That is what y'all will permit to come back to this country.
A convicted
felon, a fraudster,
convicted and jailed.
In two continents
in
of
Europe
the world.
And in America, jailed. And now this man decides that he's going to extort St. Kitts and Nevis, and he's also going to extort St. Lucia. And you all decide that you will hitch your wagon. And Lisa, honestly, girl, I used to like you. I honestly used to like you, but you throw all your credibility and your likability, everything away, right? Hitching your wagon to this man. And I know why you did it. It's because you felt that you had an entitlement to the job that you had, but you were a political appointee, Lisa. I was a political appointee. Your Shasney tried to dangle nonsense in front of me. And I tell him straight, no, I'm walking. I don't want your carrot, right? I am walking. I'm a political appointee. My government lost. I am walking. And you ought to have walked. Well, okay, you're in place. But they ask you to move. Move, my girl. Just move.
Crap. Trying to extort money from the government. And the flabbers were going, oh, look, Philip JP have to give the people how many $1 million? For what? For what?
And you'll be happy about that?
And y'all are happy. Y'all would have been happy. Because you all saw it as an avenue for your party to regain governance of this country. You are asking that St. Lucia be burnt to rule over the ashes. How can you tell me you are in the interest of your country with these egregious statements? How can you? And Pastor Quem, all of you all signed the petition. All of you sign it. You will get 100,000 US. Lord Jesus Christ, man. You all love this country. Which country you all love? Now, DBS. How can you tell me you all have a studio, a station that seemingly is the playground of lies, the playground for dissemination of lies and deceitful information. Why? And sometimes I ask if DBS doesn't mean Debunking, or even bunch of shameless ones. DBS. It's so sad. Because for management to permit the dissemination of a barrage of untruths by a convicted fraudster places an extremely serious question or extremely serious questions about the credibility of any information that now comes from DBS. Anyone, can make up a story and go to DBS. They don't fact check, they don't do anything, they disseminate it. And that is what is in the handbook of Flabo. Attack Richard, attack. So the latest recruit is Lisa Joseph. And she decided she is attacking me. But this woman doesn't understand. Richard Frederick is a man who does his research. A lot of research. I'm not like Herman Francis that when they ask him about, and I'll read it later on, guns are coming through the legal means. Huh? Through the legal channels, he said. Involved with murders. Anyway, I'll come to that. And, folks, so Lisa comes to the press briefing. Now, I will not tell you what she asked the PM. I will let you listen for yourself, and you will hear the PM's response to Lisa, and then I will deal with it accordingly. Could you play that clip for me, please?
Earlier, you made mention when you were discussing the crime situation, you made mention of the separation of powers and your respect for it. I want to ask you two questions that seem to be lingering, and it seems to be dogging the St. Lucia Labour Party as well as your government. One would be the inclusion of Richard Frederick in the cabinet, considering all that the St. Lucia Labour Party had labelled him as being a crime boss while he was a member of the United Workers' Party. I don't think he's ever really cleared that up. Can you once and for all address this issue? Is the Labour Party and your government comfortable now with who Richard Frederick is? And can you enlighten us as to whether he's no longer a crime boss as deemed by the St. Lucia Labour Party when he was an opponent? Secondly, still with the housing minister, he has on occasion on his talk show issued instructions to the police. And we have seen those instructions in some cases come to pass. Can you tell us, what is the separation of powers there? Do you tolerate this? Is this something that meets with your favor? Can you give us an explanation?
Listen, once I saw you, I knew that was a strategy discussed in the UWP boardroom. The strategy is you attack Richard Frederick and tie him on the Prime Minister. That strategy is well known, so I expect that. I mean, that's
Prime Minister, these are legitimate questions, and I hope you're not inferring what I think you're inferring.
And I'm giving you a legitimate response. I knew that discussed in the United Workers' Party's boardrooms and discussed with the surrogates and the public relations people was to attack Richard Frederick and tie him around the Prime Minister. So what is happening this morning may be a legitimate question, but it's very coincidental. It's in the same line with the United Workers' Party attack. Let me inform you that Richard Frederick was the same Richard Frederick that was there when the United Workers' Party were in government. The same Richard Frederick. There is no other Richard Frederick. Richard Frederick was the same, let me repeat myself, it was the same Richard Frederick who was a minister in the United Workers' Party government. It was the same Richard Frederick who was on the show every night when the United Workers' Party were in power. The same Richard Frederick, the same one. There's no change. At that time, The United Workers' Party and its leader never saw it fit to take any action against Richard Fredericks. Never saw it fit. If the United Workers' Party saw it not necessary or not convenient for them to accept Richard Fredericks or to have take any action against him, Richard Fredericks ran elections as an independent and he won. Richard Fredericks is a member of the cabinet of the St. Lucia Labour Party. This is a fact. I'm saying to you, if at that time the United Workers' Party found nothing to take action against Richard Fredericks, this time I have seen nothing take action against Richard Fredericks.
But the history would show that he was indeed ejected from
Richard Fredericks will tell you
following the allegations by the same
Richard Fredericks. All right. Okay. Well, that made it easier. He's a private citizen. That made it very easier. So it made it easier, right? He was rejected. He was a private citizen. The government was in power. They had the entire state apparatus. They did him nothing. Because again, we seem to be forgetting. You see, listen, I know you've been around, not for a very long time, but you know the history. And many people know that. Richard Fredericks attacked the United Workers' Party from the time you say he was ejected until 2021. The government had the entire state apparatus. They did nothing with him. Why, at the time, when he was not clothed with any ministerial office, and when he was the same Richard Fredericks, making the same accusations every night on the show, why didn't the United Workers' Party take action against him?
So you're saying that they should have been the one?
So, Lisa, this is your final.
No, leave her. Lisa is okay. Don't protect Lisa. I can talk to her. When you see, let me tell you why I can speak bold like that. I have nothing. I have no skin in the game. I have no skin in the game. My life is very simple and clear. I have no skin in the game, so I can speak boldly. I can speak out. A lot of people tell me sometimes I speak too much to you all, but I can speak boldly because I have no skin in the game. I have nothing. What I'm saying to you is that the United Workers' Party took no action against Richard Fredericks. That's a fact. They took no action against him, but they want me to take action against him. And they were there before me.
So you no longer believe the things that the SLP said
I am saying that the United politicians say a lot of things. The United Workers' Party also accused him. And they did nothing with him. That's not the first time Japanese get accused, They are pretending like Richard Fredericks came down from somewhere. I wouldn't say it was heaven or hell. That's what they are pretending. All in a sudden, they made Richard Fredericks a topic. All in a sudden, this is crazy. This is the guy who was on the United Workers' Party platform with John Compton. When he came on the platform, Compton said, the United Workers' Party supporters said, we want him. Compton said, you want him, I will give him to you. That's the history. Ask Rick, my friend. Ask him. He knows that. Compton said, you want him, I will give him to you. Richard Fredericks was single-handedly the biggest critic of the Labour Party between the years 2002 and 2006. Richard Fredericks led the campaign that made the present Prime Minister Minister of Tourism by appointment. That's the same Richard Fredericks by appointment. The present political leader. So it's that history. And that's history. That's the same Richard Fredericks, the same one. That suddenly they want me to do what they did not do from 2006 to 2021. Right. And that's when they had that, they did nothing with him. But suddenly he's just become the person that Philip J. Pierre must name. I'm saying to you, if there is any evidence that any of my ministers is involved in criminal activity, I will take action. I've said so before, so many times before, and I look at you this as a journalist I respect and tell you frontally, if there is any evidence that any of my ministers are involved in criminal activity, I will take the necessary action.
Thank you, Philip J. Pierre. Folks, Albert says he wants to ask me a few questions in relation to the garbage Lisa was spewing as it relates to me being ejected from the United Workers' Party. A total fabrication. I just want to read what I posted in relation to who Richard Frederick is. Because when I was in Flabo, they used to call me the pit bull. Y'all remember? The pit bull. Every meeting that they had, I was always the last speaker before the political leader. Always. Always. Let the pit bull get them. Let the pit bull get them. Always last speaker. Always. I am the same Richard Frederick. I am the same one. I am the same Richard Frederick Minerva Ward wrote about, praising me and said when the political books, the political history books are written, that I will feature prominently. And Shilam Bestal and Shasney, left, right, and center. I am the same one. I am the same one that Prudent was busting all over the place. I am this, and I can substantiate that because I have writings and clippings and posts to substantiate. Because you see me, my memory is like that of an elephant. But folks, this is what I wrote in response. I am the same Richard Frederick, the same one who entered politics 19 years ago, the same one who spearheaded the victory of the United Workers' Party in 2006 general elections after winning as an independent candidate in the by-election of March 20, 2006. And I want to say this, before the by-election and after the by-election, it was after my victory, I first spoke to Sir John George Melvin Compton. I first spoke to him after my victory. So I got no encouragement from him. In fact, his words were, "Nu pakapa take a batem popot." And I became a minister in December of 2006. And during that term between 2006 and 2011, I will tell you some of the things I wrote that I had done. I built Serenity Park. I totally rebuilt the courts in the gardens, and imagine the courts in the gardens were left in a state of disrepair. The Philip J. Pierre just gave me about $1 million to redo the entire gardens, which I will be having a grand opening on. It is now complete. It is now complete. I left there with seats and lights and everything. I got it as though it was a pigsty, but I'm refurbishing it. Serenity Park, since I came in, rebuilt it and built an amphitheater, and we are changing the fountain. All of that I have there. The New Village Court, I built it. The Boapatat Human Resource Center, I built it during that term again, 2006 to 2011, and they never did anything to it. When I came back, I refurbished it. I slabbed the entire drain. Today, we take it for granted, but once you had gotten by Jamari's gas station, the gutter, you remember that, Albert, was open and exposed. I slabbed the entire thing. I made it more palatable and more sightly. So those are some of the accomplishments to improve the quality of lives of residents of Castries and St. Lucia. It is the same Richard Frederick. I was on Shasta's case from 2012 thereabout. From the time Shasta won the candidate nomination, I never sat with Shasta in any room. Shasta fired me. I never sat with Shasta in any room. I took a front page of the Star on the day that we were electing a leader. Rick Wen can tell you that. I have the Star up to now. Richard is fucking. And then I took the center spread. Rick, tell them that. If you don't mind, I am the same Richard Frederick. I am the same Richard Frederick. Having given Shasta so many blows, I actually brought a mop and a bucket in studio. You all remember that? And say, Nicole McDonald, come and mop up again. Because Shasta is spewing and spilling everything. You all remember that? But he could not touch me. He could not do anything to me because all I spoke was the truth. I am the same Richard Frederick that Rick Wen stated was the hardest working politician that St. Lucia had ever seen, and that was agreed to by Timothy Polio. I am the same Richard Frederick. I have been a minister in Philip J. Pierre's cabinet for 4 years now, over 4 years. And you all can't come with anything new. Same old bullshit, same thing. I am the same Richard Frederick who was in St. Lucia when all the violence was happening and Viewford was this and Viewford was that. I never heard Richard Frederick because I was not in government. So violence was there. Homicide rate actually spiraled upward. You would not hear my name because I wasn't in government. I am the only politician in this country, and I dare say only politician, who have brought warring factions together, who have stood between two gangs and asked them to be peaceful. And I actually put my life on the line, and I've done it more than once. Tell me one other politician who have done it. I did it for the sake of peace. For the sake of peace. It's me. It's me. You are labeling the crime boss. It is the same Richard Frederick that consultants have asked you to keep attacking. That's why you all do it. Will that ever work? It cannot. So who was the kingpin in Viewfort? Why you all call me the crime boss? The kingpin's daughter is a candidate. Huh? You know, I live a lot for platform. I live a lot for platform. Crime boss. Who's the candidate for Castries Central? And I'll come to that because I heard you Shasta, and I'll play the clip where you talk about the government is giving work to crime bosses. We will deal with that, Shasta. You will not escape. You will not escape. You want us to believe a convicted fraudster, you know, and you, Lisa Joseph, you joined the bandwagon, you know, and I said here, you need to make peace with God, yourself, and mankind because of your condition. You know what your condition is. And not because I never, ever, Lisa, I never relish or rejoice over anyone's misfortune. But the universe is real. They call it karma, but I call it the universe. The universe pay you in your own coins. I am a successful man. I am, and I can proudly say that the Almighty has blessed me with a good brain, a good managerial brain, and an intelligent brain. So I use my intelligence to get out of poverty, and I use my managerial skill to create generational wealth. And now I will soon have 2 doctors, a lawyer, you know, a forensic scientist, and my children will be okay. And then God can take me. So I'm creating generational wealth. And I thank God for that. It is because I have placed positivity into the universe. So I never relish the opportunity, never ever, to rejoice at one's misfortunes. But you must understand that what you put into the universe, Lisa, comes right back at you. It will come back at you. You know, don't play with the universe. And like I said, even if Shasnip is chemo for you. You cannot discredit yourself by doing to his biddings. You need to walk to exceed confidence and ensure your credibility remains intact. Right now, your credibility is at zero, and you cannot afford that. Go make peace first and foremost with yourself. Make peace with your friends, and then make peace with the Almighty God. Okay? Yes, Albert.
Yes, Richard.
I'm coming to Herman Francis next.
Yeah, first of all, Richard, I'm confused when she says this thing, the lingering and dogging,
I don't know.
That confuses me. Then again, she said infer, I suppose she meant insinuate, but we'll go past that.
Yeah.
But let's get to this business of that you were ejected by the UWP, and that was on the basis of accusations by the SLP. That's what she said. Richard, I was following that.
Hold on. She also said about my visas. Hello, Lisa, I forget to mention, I am the same Richard Frederick who without visas gave the United Workers' Party a seat in Parliament so that the record will show that even without visas, the people of Central Castries voted for me. And they'll vote for me again and again and again. Now that it has been restored, well, I'm gone. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the question of, she's saying that you were ejected from the UWP on the basis of accusations made by the SLP. Richard, as I remember it, right, from the very beginning when Alan Chastney was making his bid, you said that you will not support Alan Chastney.
But I played the clip last week.
Yeah.
I played the clip where outside the courthouse, when a journalist interviewed me and asked me, it is reported that Alan Chastney will be making a bid for the leadership of the United Workers' Party. I said I would hate to believe that's true because his father told me he spends money like a child that has never seen toys, and I will not support him. So I made that clear.
Okay.
I made it clear. I followed up by paying for the front page of the Star newspaper and the center spread.
Right.
So that crap.
That was the Richard is for King.
For King.
Right.
And I never attended a meeting. There is a letter my sister told me.
My questions,
oh,
please.
Sorry. Sorry.
Right. Now, as I recall, Richard, you were staying away from the Chastney's meetings and all that.
Everything.
Right?
Everything.
And as I recall it, they gave you an ultimatum.
They gave me an ultimatum. They wrote me.
Right.
Asking me to attend meetings.
Or else.
Or else.
And your response to them was, go ahead with the or else.
Do you all, or else I am not coming to any meeting if you all.
Right.
And I never attended one meeting. Shastney could have never been.
So by the time you responded, go ahead with your or else, because I'm not attending, you knew that the next thing was that you'd no longer be a member.
I knew they would have done something to ask me to give me the real ultimatum. And they did that. Nicholas Frederick, the AG, that they make me Attorney General when he was Dr. Nicholas Frederick. He did his PhD in the anatomy of a fly. Then, what's the one name again? He's married, thought the child was his and it's not his child. That's a fact because he's impotent. Tell me his name.
LJ.
Linwell James. Yeah, I could say that. That's a fact. Bro, when you see I say anything, I can prove it. Good. So it was him, Linwell James, and another one. Now, the Attorney General, I had already asked him, I asked Sir John why he take that man to make him Attorney General. Where is he now? I don't know. So basically, they came with their agenda, and then they invited me to a meeting. Oh, the general body constituted a disciplinary body or whatever. Come to the pastoral center at whatever time. I said, who come into pastoral center and do what? I said, I don't want to associate with Chastney's or Pakatan. I never went. So when you had a spew all that crap,
history will show.
History will show. That's what it is.
No, what Elisa said was, history will show that you were ejected from the UWP.
Because Lisa, I tell you, Lisa is not too bright.
But this is a journalist saying, well,
I tell you, she's a journalist.
Saying that
Lisa's zero credibility.
That history will show. That Richard Frederick was ejected from the EWP on the basis of these allegations by the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Bro, the allegations were made long before the 2011 elections. I lost my visas before the 2011 elections. I ran the 2011 elections and won even if I had no visa.
But Richard, what they're doing is trying to rewrite history. Remember Nancy Charles some weeks ago said pretty much the same thing, that they fired you from... When I know, and I know for sure, that I was following this thing, and it is that you said to them basically, listen, I'm not coming to your thing.
Do your thing.
Yes.
They wrote me to come to meetings. I tell I'm not coming. I don't want to associate with Chasley. Then they form a committee. I come to pastoral center at whatever time, whatever day. Linwald James, Nicholas Frederick, and another one. I can't remember the other one's name. And say you must attend and be punctual. I said, who y'all think you're talking to? Who y'all think you're talking to? Ben that like they say, you'll have no economic prowess, nothing. Me? You're giving me ultimatum, come to meeting. I said, Makale. Imagine I called my sister for the letter. She told, my sister is out of state. Now I know she's listening. She said, Richard, I have that in a file somewhere. You know, they eject me. Listen, go do your homework, journalist. Go and do your homework. Nonsense. And Herman Gill said the same foolishness. And that's why I say Herman Gill is the most idiotic member of the Francis family. An easy thing like that to just go and do some research. No, the sensationalism, the anxiety it breeds to say Richard Frederick was fired. Oh God, look, Angel is calling me. Angel, I know you want to give the history, but I just start, you know.
You cannot, you forget the whole story. Because you were not coming to meetings, the party, they said, it supposedly was fragmented. And to sort of heal things to face the elections, they brought Sir James Mitchell from
St. Vincent, right.
To have a meeting at the pastoral center.
Right.
And you were invited with your people, which was myself, Lydia, Mark Louis, a few of us. That we attended and you never attended.
But the guy said I wasn't attending anything.
Yeah, but I was in there. Brought Sir James Mitchell from St. Vincent. He was there to sort of talk to you and have you to calm down and bring you back and let you come back with balance.
And what did I say?
You flat out say you were not coming.
Amen.
Even the morning on our way there, we stopped by you and you said, Angel, I am not going. And I said, well, okay, I wouldn't force you. I remember Antonia Alcembo was part of that thing, you know. We went there. Well, we went there, Sir James Mitchell was there, whatever they spoke about, blah, blah, blah. I ate and I drink and I went home. Because Richard Frederick would have come.
Anyway, Angel, we have a lot to discuss, but we'll talk about that another time. Take care. All right. I didn't even remember that. They brought Sir James Mitchell to talk to me. They brought him to talk to me. I didn't remember that. He was trying and heal the party and wanted to talk to me personally. The ex-Prime Minister of St. Vincent. Male. I did not go. Male. Where they ejected me from? Where they ejected me? Y'all talking a kind of crap. The people were begging me. I said no. I'm not going. I don't want to associate with Alan Chasney. That was the bottom line. And so when y'all are talking your crap, know the facts. You know, and that brings me to Herman Gill, who I wrote a post. Alan fired me and got rid of. Herman Gill, I'm coming to you. Before I do that, let me say good night. And before I come to you, no, I'll come to you now. I think, should I come to Herman Gill now? Or, no, just now. Let me just check this. Yes, I think I'll come to you now, Herman Gill. I'll come to you. But before that, let me say good night to Mikey Henry and Tim Lisa. Good night. Lucian Trini, good night. Arthur Neptune, good night. Arthur Neptune said he never knew I went through all that. having to give undertakings to continue this program. Yes, as I did, in the interest of this country. This is what I have gone through. Alvin Kanai over in St. Croix, good night to you. Kello, good night. Master Wong over in Antigua with Dexter and the St. Lucia Domino team. I wish you luck over there. Trick in Canada, good night to you. Whites in Canada, let me say good night to Peter the Great. Anson Maxwell, good night to you. Rossini, good night. Rossi Cow, good night. Julia Charles in Canada, good night. I understand that you're listening. Milky Xavier, good night. Jermaine Preville. Team RF, y'all are on the go. Valdo, Nikki, Nigel, Shabin, Tutsi, all of you. I can't remember everybody. Kendall and all the others. Good night. Andre Macombi, good night to you. Cutty Ranks, good night. Martin Philogen, Playboy, Kenny, Lenny, good night. Kalmaja, good night. I want to advertise the youth rally in Dennery North on Sunday at Palm Valley. Yes, the youth from Castries Central will be there, and I'm starting off my campaign this Sunday. This Sunday we start with a breakfast at the Anglican Church, where we have a church services at 8:30. Catholic goers, you all will not see me on Sunday because I have to be at the Anglican at 8:30 on Sunday, so I will be there. We kick off our campaign, we have a breakfast, and then we join, our people will join a motorcade where we all converge at Palm Valley, where the youth rally will be held. Yes, folks. Let me just deal with something there, Albert. You wanted to say anything on anything?
No, let me just few shout-outs right quick.
All right, well, go ahead.
Yeah, Alan Thomas, good night. Digno Osman. Kim Hamilton, Bosway, good night to you. Nettie McDonald, I see you there. And Natalia Charles, good night. And whilst you're Miss Pet, and your good husband, Benedict, good night. Now, Wilkie at Fillings Bar, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Tika Augustine, my good cousin, good night. I see Leandra Fields watching as well. She's on there with us. Good night, Leandra. And back to you, Richard.
Yes. Jinx, good night, but I can't take your call now, Jinx. I can't take your call, my brother. I can't take your call. Sorry about that. I'll say this, folks. Roman Gill, no, before I say this, let me again touch on Lisa. And it speaks to her knowledge of what's going on. A private citizen brought an action. A private group brought an action that they are questioning the constitutionality of having burglary on our books.
Burglary laws.
And they are saying that, look, these laws are unconstitutional. The court ruled that the law is unconstitutional. The unintelligent Lisa Joseph will ask, why didn't the Prime Minister have public consultation on that? Can you believe this? Why didn't the Prime Minister have public consultation on a private case brought by a private group to the court, over which the court made a judicial ruling?
The constitutional motion.
On a constitutional motion. She's asking, why didn't the Prime Minister have
You see, what it says to me, Richard, is that she didn't know what was going on at all. She must have heard something said somewhere, right? And
Powell Bolawi.
Yeah, a little Powell Bolawi. She did not know what was going on.
She has no investigative skill to know exactly what was going on, and all she's doing is the beatings of Flabo.
But you will be playing something else, which
I will.
About the Guy Joseph fellow.
Guy Joseph. It's the next clip we will play. So, public consultation. For what? The court is the court. And how can the court make a ruling and the Prime Minister or the government must have public consultation?
Richard, I can almost guarantee, I probably should guarantee anything like that, but I highly doubt that the Prime Minister even knew that case was going on.
The Prime Minister had no clue.
Yeah, that the case was going on.
I am telling you that he had no clue.
And even if he knew, what was his
he cannot interfere in the judiciary. Who you think that the Alan Shastey? Public consultation on a private matter brought by a set of individuals questioning the constitutionality of a law in our criminal books. You are saying the Prime Minister. That is ignorance at its highest. You know, ignorance at its highest. Now, if you think well-educated, they say well-educated people are burdened. I'll tell you why. They say well-educated people are inquisitive. They have inquiring minds. So they always want to know.
And hold back things.
You know? No, the educated people have inquiring minds. But if you think they are burdened, try the ignorant. Try the ignorant. I mean, now, it is funny that Lisa will ask about public consultation. What's her name, Lisa Joseph? Now, I will never ever say that the name Joseph is synonymous with ignorance. I will never say so. But sadly, Guy signed Joseph as well. Guy signed Joseph as well. And Guy was the one. We have not passed any law. That law has been on the books probably before I was born. Before I was born. But listen to Guy Joseph say, Cabinet pass a law. Take a listen to this, folks.
There is no greater abomination in any country. Yes, in Sodom and Gomorrah, the men were burning inside them with lust for other men. Now, I want to know whether our cabinet passed these laws for themselves. And not objecting to. There is no greater abomination in any country. Yes, in Sodom and Gomorrah, the men were burning inside them with lust for other men. Now, I want to know whether our cabinet passed these laws for themselves.
Albert, since when cabinet passes law?
I don't know that cabinet does that. I know cabinet would probably discuss something and say, okay, fellas, guys, we're going to have to take this bill before Parliament.
The man say cabinet pass law for themselves. And the people are clapping.
Yes. And how many? This guy was a parliamentarian, right?
Yes, sadly.
So he was a lawmaker.
Yes.
He was a lawmaker.
Cabinet pass law.
And he said cabinet passes law. And for themselves.
You know, and he's speaking to people and they are clapping.
Yes.
They are clapping.
And you know, and it's the nastiness in what he's saying, you know, Richard. There's an underlying nastiness is what I can describe it. Because when he says that he wonder if they pass that law for themselves, cabinet pass that law, what does he mean by that?
No, he's insinuating that cabinet contains, there are members in cabinet who will indulge.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
It's just like when he said this thing about when he directed his nasty comment at Sean Edward about the period poverty. And I wonder if the minister will want to know who are there. But you are a nasty boy, you know. You're nasty, man. You know what I really want from you? All what you want and what I want from you is for you to account
for the St. Jude material.
The St. Jude material. That's what I want from you. With all the nasty nonsense you're talking about.
I'm talking about I'm a disgrace to the human race. Guy Joseph. Guy, I am a disgrace to the human race, guy. Guy Mantapu. Bus driver turned millionaire. I'm a disgrace to the human race and you offering me bribe. Huh? You know, so folks, there is ignorance all around. Ignorance all around. But if Guy Joseph didn't know about period poverty, and he did not know that period poverty is a global issue, I don't expect anything better from Guy Joseph. Now, folks, I listened to a short clip of shots.
Sorry, Richard. What we didn't do, and we sank, is to give the Creole people the benefit of this of what we just said.
Oh, oui. So, Guy Joseph Kadi Komkwi, cabinet passe loi pour quoi? Comme quoi, nous en cabinet, nous ka nom galek nous. But cabinet pas ka faire loi. C'est d'autres trois moun qui d'accord, yo ka voye moun la jol, sinon maintenant, mais femme fait affaire yo en chambre yo.
Et ça, c'était loi pays.
Et ça, c'était loi pays. Yo mene bagay la devant High Court la dit depuis moun ka fait affaire yo en privé, yo pas ka faire rien qui pas bon. So il dit comme ça, yo pas ka voye moun l'argent pour faire affaire yo en privé.
L'audience là dit loi ça pas bon.
Il pas bon. Il pas bon. So yo tiye.
So c'est pas pièce gouvernement qui fait ça.
Gouvernement pas involvé à ça. Mais Guy ka dit nous passer loi pour quoi. You know? That is the kind of foolishness. And he speaks it with confidence. He speaks his ignorance with confidence, which is what is very, very disturbing. And the 43%ers are clapping because they don't know better. Guy speaks. You know? So today, folks, I heard Shastney I saw a clip rather, on RevUp. Could you play that clip for me, please?
There are allegations that are being made, Andrew, that the government is giving contracts. There are allegations that the government is giving contracts to drug lords. Has the government sufficiently answered that question? Is it true? Now, let us understand the implications of that. In Jamaica, we've seen a 45% decrease in crime. And one of the things that he did in Jamaica, and Andrew Holness came out and said it, right? He's going to make sure that no contracts are being given to anybody linked to the underworld. Because he said that's one of the things that's facilitating, because that's money that's going in to fight the people. And that in itself was causing a problem, which we've seen here, because you have gang lords who are upset that they're not getting.
So this allegation,
yes,
again, have you asked the question?
Of course.
Have you asked for clarification?
We asked who was the contractor for the custody suites.
Shasta, you are such a pathetic, blatant, compulsive liar. You know, who was the contractor for custody suites? The documents have been made public. Crime in Jamaica has gone down by 45%. Boy, go do your research. Go do your research with the nastiness, foolishness, and lies you're spewing. The same way you said there were 800 deportees and the interviewer was surprised. The same way you said that gas in Grenada had gone down. And by the time they asked you the question, a couple seconds later, you said you had never said that.
Gone down below $10.
You know, below $10. They asked you seconds later, you said where you get that from, Shastney? And that is what you do. The recklessness with which you speak.
Let's just see things, Richard.
I will play a clip in a while where Holness is complaining about the increase in crime. He's complaining. Now, folks, that is the height of ignorance and spewing lies recklessly. You know, and further, the insinuation that government is funding criminals is wrong. It is far from the truth. But I hope, I hope most of you all fellas, who they refer to as ghetto fellas, I hope you all are listening. Because it was that same Shasne who brought Shine to this country. You all remember? Shine was in prison for 10 years. But he brought Shine down here to take him to the ghettos. And then he took Shine to Shantytown.
Wasn't Shine involved in that East-West, that whole East-West thing in New York?
He took 10 years in jail. Yeah. He shot somebody.
Yes.
Okay? But Shasne wanted to use him to get to the ghettos. He brought him down here. Today, they are funding drug lords and criminals. You went rather on a bike in Grosile. You know who was the rider? You know who was riding that bike? Before elections, you called several men who you perceive to be the ghetto kings. You call them together, Shasne. I will not call their names. You know them. I didn't ask them permission to call their names. You call them together. All of them called me after that, and you had a meeting with them, Shasne. You had a meeting with them, and you promised them jobs if you win. Shasne, you forget it? You forget it? I listened in. You had them to go to your lawyer. You know who the lawyer is. And one of them actually called me, and I listened to a conversation, a meeting they had with your lawyer. They took money from your lawyer. They took money from your lawyer. Yes, they did. You came with the woman from Barbados. The woman said she was spending any amount of money to win Castry Central. You remember that? You remember that? And so, it's the same set of fellas that took the money. Yes, they did. You didn't see Sarah posters go up in a certain ghetto one day and you all were happy. Yeah. But by 3 o'clock the following morning, they were gone. They were gone. They took your monies to do what you think they would have done. They never did. Woman came from Barbados. You sent to call a certain man. You sent an ex-police at a certain man's house to meet you and the Bajan woman. You know, and you all spend money like fire, especially in Central. That did not work. You went in the graveyard recently, pretending to be empathizing and sympathizing with the ghetto people, even saying you're having a vigil there. Huh? A vigil in the ghetto. But today, hear what you will say. You have a candidate like Rush. But you will say no work for them. No work. Shasne, I guess Lady Lee or Lady Lynn, whatever her name is, she taking note too. You are a manipulator. You are a hypocrite. You know, folks, let me show you all one page of the custody suites report. Let me just show you that one page. It has one error. We'll take it out and we'll deal with it. Could you put up that for me, please? Good. Could you show the top? That's the top head there, black boy? Okay. The procurement plan proposed 23rd January 2023. Start date and a project completion date of 20th December 2023. Closure date of February 2025. Site visit 27th January 2023. Work started September 2023. Work started on 4th September. I see work started again. Yeah, 4th September. IDC Caribbean Holdings Limited. IDC Caribbean Holdings Limited. I want to know if IDC Caribbean Holdings Limited is a drug lord, Shastey. Shastey, tell the people of this country if the government, after having done what they had to do insofar as procurement, proper procurement procedure is concerned, gave IDC Caribbean Holdings Limited a contract and they are a drug lord. Huh? That's a document you can get, Shastey. Let's go. Request for direct procurement, March 6, 2023. After an evaluation of 4 tenders. 4 tenders. Look the bids there. 5,081,000, 4,013,000, 4,022,000, 4,279,000. 2 of the bids were unresponsive because of lack of financial capabilities. Architect's estimate was that 80 should be out there. It was supposed to have been a dollar sign there. Was 5,084,432. That was the architect's estimate. Like I said, the 8 is an error. Request for public procurement, March 6, 2023, after an evaluation of 4 tenders. The tender was awarded to lowest tender after an evaluation by the evaluation committee using the design, finance, and bill contract with finance charges. Legal review by the Attorney General and whatever. You know, there was proper procurement procedures. It was tendered to the lowest bidder. 2 of the bidders were basically disqualified because they had to use, in essence, they had to use their own money to finance the project. Shastey will go and say that they gave custody suites to a drug lord. What's your take on that, Albert?
But who's the drug lord? What drug? What's this person said in Fenwick?
I don't know.
Yeah. But he's a man, you know, Richards, that man just say things. If he feels it is good for the moment, he will say it. And he says it with confidence. He says it with vigor and virtue. You know. And as you said, 800 deportees.
Yeah, 800.
Yeah.
Then Grenada reduces gas to less than $10. The crime rate in Jamaica has gone down by 45%.
I see somebody posted that it's actually gone up.
It's gone up.
Right.
It's gone up.
You know, so
all research units gone up. The man does just spew. And that is the recklessness of Shastey. Shastey says anything that comes to his mind. If Shastey just stays there and say, my wife is a black woman, he'll just say it.
Yeah, he just says anything.
He just says anything.
He thinks it suits the moment, he'll just say it.
You know, nonsense. IBC Caribbean Holdings Limited is a drug lord. Is a drug lord. I'm not doing the research for you. I put it up there. Go and find out who the directors are. Do some research. Go and do some research, Shastey. You idiots. You know, how are we? For a man that was leader of a country and prime minister. Not even a little bit of research. Crime in Jamaica has gone down by 45%. I will bring the actual numbers on my next show.
But Richard, that means Jamaica practically doesn't have crime.
Boy, and now
a cut of 45%.
The man that's just pure nonsense. Nonsense alone. Now, you know, folks, another one that has jumped on the bandwagon, calling you spin and everything. Herman Gill. You know, and always say no one can challenge him. You know, Herman Gill, I want to ask you a couple of questions. And I saw your last post about I don't interact in the public. You looking for a coward is me you looking for, boy? You looking for a coward is me you looking for? And I don't. Sometimes I have so much information like now you think I don't want to open the lines? But I have to dematerial. You know how many years you spent in the police force, Herman Gill? How many? You fought to be commissioner, didn't you? But the foreigners, you remember the foreigners?
Which ones?
The ones that came in from England.
Yes. That's the chap I had my court written with. Broughton.
That's correct. And they said on no uncertain terms should you be made commissioner. Then there was another report, there was an investigation, a commission of inquiry, I forget the name now, that said you should not be made commissioner. You fought hard. How many times have you been married, Herman Gill? 3, right? You've been married 3 times. In fact, I understood that when you get married, you have to say, till death do us part. That's the oath of marriage. Not so, Albert?
Yeah.
Yes. But a man was laughing me, telling me yesterday, Herman Gill doesn't say, till death do us part. He does say, we shall soon depart. Yeah, you've been married 3 times. Facts. Now, after spending, you know you have been accused. Not accused, but you have beaten your wives. You know that. There's no doubt about that. Okay? After spending all your life in the police force, you had to resort to doing security. Not so. Not so. Now, your 3rd marriage, on which you are, I'm not sure if you're in it now because Bel Air, but I'm coming there. Your 3rd marriage is to the niece of your first wife who was living with you as a child. Not so? Isn't that so? You're always on Facebook, answer me and I'll come back here again. You're always on Facebook. Go there and answer me, I'll come back here. Go. Go. And you're always challenging somebody. Zon Paka ton kite Richard Frederick but they say, okay. Yes. So your 3rd marriage is to the niece of your first wife who was living with you as a child. Now, where are you living now? I'm not sure. But after your 3rd marriage, you can't build a house for yourself. I know you build a nice plywood house for the girl in Bel Air. In fact, somebody told me you anchor there as though you are a ship in a harbor in Bel Air. And somebody else tell me, if I could do anything, pray for you. Pray for you. You know, you need prayers. You know, and now Herman Gill, you what, 71, 70, 71 or 72, thereabout. Over 70 for sure. And have to resort to doing security. Check yourself, brother. Check yourself. The fact is, Herman Gill Francis, you have no moral standing, none whatsoever to judge anybody. You have more than a questionable character. I remember seeing your first wife whilst I was in the police force with you. She was battered, beaten. But when I quizzed her, and eventually she told me it was at your hands. You had beaten her so badly. I met her in New York not too long ago. And she looks well. She looks well. I asked her how. She told me she's good. She got out of your life. She escaped you. You know, folks, I want to say this. I never, ever go down that road unless I am attacked. In an effort at reading Flabo's handbook, this is what Herman Gill Francis wrote on social media. Put it up for me, please. And it's, y'all want publicity. I'm not afraid to give it to y'all because it's crap alone. The Prime Minister does not have the ability to explain himself. Yes, Richard was UWP under John and Stephen King. It is under King that the SLP sent those allegations against Richard. They made him lose his visas. Alan got rid of the problem of what I got rid of Alan from my political life. It's the same nonsense you spewing like Lisa. That is what is in the handbook. So I'm putting it up for people to see why I'm coming at you. I don't do it just so. Which problem Alan got rid of? Alan wished he had me around him. He wished he had me around him. Mr. PM, be a man. Be a man. What's that? And the SLP used that same problem to win an election. Mr. PM, be a man. Accept that you cannot distance yourself and the rest of your party from Richard. Yes, and that's in your handbook. At least Kenny had the goods to move away from this scourge. Kenny had the courage to move away from you after he gave you scholarship and everything to go and do law. But you wasted his money. You wasted his money. Go and do law and turn security at 70. You wasted his money. And now you all are enemies. So stop talking nonsense. Your association has caused Masha to become a war zone. Excuse me. Now you have something in common with Richard. Constituency riddled with criminal activity. Viewfort, I'm coming back. Nonsense. Both of your silent killings, you brought this onto yourself. You see, folks, put that down. You all want publicity. I'm giving all your negative post publicity. I'm giving it publicity. And when I come, you all will say, I have no respect for this and no respect for that. So you all are supposed to attack Richard Frederick with total impunity. That will not happen. That will not happen. You know, that will not happen. And I've already explained. Look, Angel called. Angel called. And that is why you have no credibility, Herman Francis. Angel reminded me that they brought the ex-Prime Minister of St. Vincent to speak with me. All of them went except me. I said, I'm not going. I didn't even remember that. James Mitchell coming to speak to me at the pastoral center. Angel said they went there, they ate the food and they left. I didn't want to associate with those guys. Foolishness. Crap. Nonsense. And that is why you have no credibility. And in addition, you know, folks, this man calls Newspin as though he's such a credible source, spewing garbage alone. You know, endless crap. Oh, and I challenge you. Nonsense. The fact remains, Herman Francis is a known lawbreaker. He even admitted to breaking the law during COVID. He admitted to breaking the law during COVID. Play the first clip for me, please.
No masks, no social distancing, just vibes. That's what was captured in several pictures and videos featuring the National Security Minister, Herman Francis. Nelsia Charlemagne begins tonight's broadcast with statements from the minister himself.
Did the National Security Minister, Herman Francis, attend a birthday party on May 24th, constituting a breach of COVID-19 protocols? According to current protocols guiding the management of COVID-19, social gatherings are allowed, but only groups of up to 10 people of your immediate family. These protocols will remain in place until May 30th, 2021. There is a possibility that they may be further extended. Since pictures of the minister in attendance at an event have begun to circulate, some St. Lucians have questioned his presence at such an activity. The Choice News team contacted Francis on Thursday morning to provide the current senator and UWP-endorsed candidate for Viewfort South with an opportunity to explain himself. While Francis declined to be interviewed, he did speak in length about his participation in Monday's activity. According to the minister, he was invited to a luncheon and was informed that 15 people would be in attendance. He says that upon his arrival with his wife, there were 12 people present. Considering this, he stayed. It should be noted once more that the approved number of people allowed at a social gathering is 10. According to Minister Francis, at some point during the event, he was asked by a woman to take a photograph. It is this picture which has been widely circulated and has landed the minister as well as the other attendees in some hot water. However, the minister insists that he has done nothing wrong and says that he left the event when a number of what he described as unsavory characters joined. That bit of information by the minister cannot be proved. It is unclear whether the matter is being investigated by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. However, as per the laws of the land, any individual in breach of any COVID-19 protocol is subject to a fine of up to $10,000. While the minister has given his side of the story, several people remain disappointed in his presence at the event. The irony that the National Security Minister is breaching the protocols while warning the public to follow the law has been highlighted several times over the past few days. For Choice News Now, Nelsia Charlemagne, reporting.
You broke the law even as a minister. And now you want to portray yourself as a yardstick from which moral or legal obedience should be measured. Excuse me, Herman Gill? Excuse me? So you're above the law? Huh? You all had COVID-19 people arresting locals. The only place they were not present was in Rodney Bay where the tourists were. But everywhere along Jeremy Street were COVID wardens with guns, arresting people, putting handcuffs on them, putting guns to their head, cranking their guns on them. And you, Herman Gill, were doing what the hell you wanted. Play this other clip for me.
National Security Minister Herman Francis has said that if he is found to be in contravention of COVID-19 protocols, he will accept the responsibility for his actions. He says a police investigation is warranted to determine the facts of the matter. But he hastened to add that such things do happen, explaining that the photo that has been making the rounds on social media was him accepting an invitation to a lunch. National Security Minister Herman Francis has been accused of flouting the very COVID-19 protocols that he has been urging and begging citizens to adhere to. Following a photo of the minister at a social function, there has been an outcry that the minister was out having a good time with no care about group numbers. Some members of the public have called it the height of hypocrisy and double standards, given that citizens face the brunt of the law and the fury of COVID wardens for protocol breaches, while they say the National Security and Justice Minister was free to indulge regardless of the protocols. On Tuesday morning, Minister Francis addressed the matter during a talk show.
I don't really want to go too much about it, but I still believe that persons are of the opinion that I did something wrong, and I think the police should investigate. Okay. Go out there and investigate. If they find that I'm wrong, then I'm willing to accept whatever responsibility it is. But these things happen. You have friends, and a friend invited me and told me that he was going to have a lunch for his dad. I felt that I should go. I went with my wife, and when I got there were a certain amount of people. I felt comfortable. I stayed, had lunch, and then when the crowd started the thing, I told my wife, well, we have expired our invitation and we'll go. I told the host that I was leaving. He is disappointed, but I left.
The minister took issue with what he said was the surreptitious recording of a conversation on the matter.
Didn't call you. I said, oh, Gil, well, this is the situation. What can you say about it? You say, well, Pete, I can't speak to you about this matter now because the police still investigating. And so on. But if I may, just give me an idea. Off the record, I'm not recording, I'm not doing anything. And I will tell him. And he'll tell you thanks. The same can be said for Rick. The same can be said for my brother Claudius. The same can be said for Sheffield Gillard. The same can be said for Rochelle Gonzalez or these people at Hot FM. And so you try to develop that rapport with somebody, with a journalist. And so when somebody calls you and says, can you give an interview? And you said, no, you're not willing to do that. Person said, well, just tell me, okay, if you're going to record me, the ethical thing to do is to tell me that you are recording.
Minister Francis argues that part of public life is interacting with the public and maintaining connections, and the photo op, he says, was his attempt at doing just that.
Now, Herman Gill, what happened to those investigations? What happened to them? You see, I don't interfere with people, Don't interfere with me. Because you forget I was in the force with you. You forget. You forget I was there. You forget. Your second wife, Jackie, you had already left her, Herman Gill Francis. You left her. You went to her house, met a constable there and beat her badly. You beat Jackie badly. Although you were not with her, Jackie Cox from Ancillary, you were not with her again. But you met another police there, constable, and you really beat her badly. Don't behave like you are above the law and you are the highest moral standard. You are not. and the Bloom Cooper report, I will get extracts of it, Herman Gill Francis. I will get extracts of the Bloom Cooper report and I will post it on my show. Let sleeping dogs lie. You know, you were in charge of the police. You're talking about investigations. The police investigating you for what? Huh? You think anything would have come out of it, Herman Gill? You are hypocrite as you are, and even in your hypocrisy, now you are politicizing crime. You are politicizing crime now. But when you were minister, and there was a lot of it, your exact words were, you should never politicize crime. Let me remind you of what you said. Play the clip for him.
We must never politicize crime.
Has Kenny Anthony made St. Lucia safer? He didn't, but we will. He didn't, but I will.
So I want to put the criminals on notice. Their days are numbered, solutions are fed up, and we will take it no more.
We must never politicize crime.
Why would you want to become the island's minister with responsibility for home affairs, minister for national security, realizing, for example, the current hold of those portfolios, the pressure that is under right now? Can you make a significant difference?
I think I like a challenge. I love challenges, and I think my history has shown that everything that I've done has turned out fairly well. You have to have a minister who engages people, who understands what security is. I have been a security officer all my life. Okay, I understand the stresses and strains that a police officer go through, what victims of crime go through, having spoken to them and so on. And I think that I can be a better minister than the present minister.
That is putting the horse, the horse before the cart. That is putting the horse, the horse before the cart.
That is putting the horse before the cart.
Okay.
You know, folks, Herman Gill Francis is known for making unsubstantiating and damaging assertions regarding crime and weapons in St. Lucia. On one occasion, he professed there being parliamentarians, Herman Gill again, accused of murder. When he was further questioned by the journalists, his response was, "It's there for all to see." A minister of government saying parliamentarians are accused of murder. But in response to a journalist, he's there for all to see. This is a man who said he studied law. He studied law, but making those reckless statements. On one occasion on Newsmaker Live, he said that a lot of homicides in St. Lucia are committed by legal weapons. He said so. Now, you know, when he said that, I remember the murder of an insurance man, but that's another show. But he said that. How do you know that, Herman Gill? And those kind of reckless and unfounded statements met with a lot of widespread criticism and skepticism, especially from the residents of the South, who knew that guns and weapons of all types, bullets and everything else, were coming through illegal channels. You know, he makes a lot of speculative statements, very speculative statements, always leaves his credibility in question. Oh, parliamentarians accused of murder is all around to see. Excuse me? You know? And I could tell you the prevailing sentiments generally in St. Lucia is to be dismissive of this man. Anything he say, people dismiss it. He's not like a Richard Frederick who will take documents and play clips. No, he just says anything. Anything for sensationalism. That's what he does. For example, when he attacked Cressida Descartes, you know, is more sensationalism than factual disclosures. Herman Gill never states a fact. Never. He attacked Cressida, our first female commissioner of police. saying she has no knowledge of policing, to not realizing all a commissioner does is manage our resources. You know, he has heavy rhetoric with limited or no substantive policy measures. And he leaves you with zero constructive solutions. And that is why when the heat was extremely hot as minister, he said, we must not politicize crime, because he had no answer. He had no answer. Look at the biggest leap in homicides, the biggest leap, the hugest gap from one to another, with an increase of about 50 murders, was under Herman Francis. Look at it. Do your research. You know, I am one who always believe, folks, that there's only so much that can be done. But when you hear people like Herman Francis spew garbage when he was minister, tell us what you did. Tell us what you did. You know, there's only so much we can do. Everyone can do. But some people find solace in blaming a government. How can a government prevent a man who sleeps next to his brother from shooting him or stabbing him the following morning? How can we do that? And crime is waging across the Caribbean. Across the Caribbean. And it has become a public health crisis for Caribbean leaders. Take a listen to 4 prime ministers, including ours.
There is no country in this region that is not facing some level of citizen insecurity.
Gangs in Jamaica likely have a connection with gangs in St. Lucia, in Trinidad, in Haiti, in the Bahamas.
The crime situation in the country as a public health issue exists in all the islands in the region, and we have to get together to solve it.
Every person who gets chopped up and die or shot, that I must go and make a statement on radio. Why is Ralph talking about this thing? Why not the police? The police talk, they say, well, Ralph not talking.
Regrettably, I've said over and over, we pay a high price for the Second Amendment rights of the United States of America's citizens.
I just want to say here that the scale and magnitude of the problem, which is being faced by almost all member countries of CARICOM, cannot be addressed overnight. It took 40 years for the problem to emerge to where it is, and it will not be solved by short-term measures. It will require significant investment, but it will also require unified public support. And as we observe the challenges in several of our member states, and we see the rising homicide rates, we also see political dissonance. And so it is absolutely important that we come together as a region so that our individual publics can see and appreciate that they are not alone in this problem.
But whatever the cause, the reality is this is where we are. If ever there was a time for us to cooperate as we discussed today on matters pertaining to this, and Jamaica has put on the table a regional justice and security framework cooperation agreement, which I believe the rest of us are ready to engage in.
That we have to come together to solve. There's no one solution. There's no one thing you can do at this time to solve the pandemic in the region. We need a whole of society approach. We need politicians to stop glorifying crime for their own personal, for their own political motives. We need to have some things where you draw a red line. And a red line must be drawn against criminality. Social programs will help. Social programs are helping to a certain extent. Rehabilitation must happen. It's a whole series of interventions that have to happen, and not one intervention. So what I want to tell you is that the meeting has agreed that the crime situation in the country as a public health issue exists in all the islands in the region, and we have to get together to solve it.
Friends, there can be no sustained prosperity without security. A July 2024 report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime entitled Caribbean Gangs, Drugs, Firearms and Gang Networks in Jamaica, St. Lucia, Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago points to a worrying combination of risk factors, including surging drug production in South America, the proliferation and competition of transnational and local gangs, and high availability and use of firearms that have contributed to soaring homicide rates.
I've spoken over and over about this situation and the plan that we have and which we are following, dealing with criminal activity, dealing with the issue of guns, a complicated issue, complicated motivations by persons, strengthening the police force, strengthening the legal system, the laws. Look, it's a year and a half ago, we went to Parliament and strengthened the gun laws. We strengthened the criminal justice system, strengthened the magistracy, strengthened the judiciary, put more resources, more training. Look, we're doing all of this thing, but you have to watch your behavior, and you have to behave in solidarity and stay away from criminality, from greed, from the violence associated with gun activity. I'm not and I cannot be responsible for the behavioral problems of individuals.
You know, folks, I am not one who would say I agree with crime. No, one murder is too many as far as I'm concerned. But when now they want to go, check the records, check the biggest upsurge in crime, who was minister and who was prime minister. Find out. It's not difficult. The records are there. The records are there. Look for the percentage increase. You will see the highest was under Flambeau with Herman Gill. And I challenge anyone to tell me, yes, if you have 72 murders in 1 year and 65 the previous year, that's 7. That is less than a 10% increase. That is more than a 10%, which is 10 would have been 6.5. But if you move from 20 to 60, that's a 300% increase. Check who was minister, check who was prime minister. But I'm not gloating, because crime is all of our business. And that is why Philip Joseph Pierre is doing so much. He's doing so much. He's giving the police all that they need. Most recruits in one term, Philip J. Pierre. Who reinstated the police vote? Philip J. Pierre. Most vehicles in any on one occasion, Philip J. Pierre. Most firearms, bullets, bulletproof vests, you name it, Philip J. Pierre. Northern Divisional Police Headquarters, Philip J. Pierre. Custody suites that was destroyed, demolished by Shastney, Philip J. Pierre. And we are holding no balls to do any of that. We are not asking members of cabinet to go and model to give the police what they need. You know, anything that the police need, Philip Joseph Pierre, the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, will use public funds to get it done. And that's why this young girl, I like to hear her so much. She said she gives Philip J. Pierre 10 out of 10. Let's say it's 10 out of 10 very quickly, Black Boy. It's
Hey
getting
guys,
late.
so somebody told me today and asked me to read the Prime Minister. First off, let me let y'all know, I'm giving the Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, a 10 out of 10. And here is why. He became a Prime Minister at the time when the country was in chaos. COVID-19, global inflation, pressure. And what did he do? He kept the country stable, and he also was very consistent. Not flashy, but consistent. And that deserves a 10 out of 10. Youth economy, active. Roadworks, ongoing. Debt management, improved. Tourism, recovered and climbing. 10 out of 10. People who actually needed the help, they got it. So when I say 10 out of 10, it's because I'm seeing the progress. It is loud and it is there. Everywhere you go in St. Lucia is progress, progress, progress. And this is why I give Philip J. Pierre a 10 out of 10. See you in the next review.
Who you are. I'm hoping you'll be at the youth rally on Sunday at Palm Valley. I will be there. I want you to introduce yourself to me. I want to know who you are. You are smart. Indeed you are. Although the list of accomplishments was, trust me, you'd have needed an hour to go through them. And you know, by the way, folks, by the way, I spoke of the accomplishments with the police. Exhibits disappeared. You all remember? Did they disappear or they were destroyed? Were they not kept at the exhibit room at Custody Suites? Did the police have time to remove them? Because whilst they were at work, instructions were given to vacate immediately. And air conditions, windows, and doors were being dismantled. Yes. The police only had time to remove themselves and to remove the prisoners, because Daisy gave instructions to vacate immediately. Where did the exhibits go? That, my friends, is for another show. Before closing off, somebody sent me something today, and I felt extremely pleased when I saw it. Could you put that up for me, please? CJ James, Cassius James, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Black Boy, could you zoom it larger for me? Let me read it from it. It's just too small. I can't read it. There seemed to be a group. I'd never seen that group before. SLP versus UWP. Cassius James. Dear Richard Frederick, the people of St. Lucia were in need of a hero, but they were blessed to have a superhero. On behalf of St. Lucians, we would like to convey our sincere appreciation to you for your relentless efforts and devotion to the welfare of this nation. This exemplifies the appreciation of our nation when our people voted for change. Thank you very, very, very much, Cassius. And like I said, I have done a lot that people don't know about, including personally giving undertakings that in the lawsuits, if MBC and or Flo are found liable, that I will pay. And guess what? I did it, not for myself, but for the people of this country. Albert, over to you. You want to do some shout-outs and we close?
We closing? Yeah?
Yeah, we can't take any calls tonight. Black Boy has said I've outlived my usefulness. I know tonight would have been long because there was a lot of content. There was a lot of content. And trust me, I don't think I'm free yet. We'll have to visit a few areas. But I'm waiting to see what the post will be. You know what we come? We debunk and we put facts on the table. Albert?
Okay, right quick. Ruma Wilson, good night, my dear. Josiane Alexander, never missing, Richard. And you must shout her out, eh?
Who?
Josiane Alexander.
Josiane Alexander, good night to you.
Right, good. Anson Maxwell, good night, my brother. I hope you're recovering well. Ingrid Paul, good night. Carol Gideon Clovis, bonsoir, good night to you. No, sorry. Carol Gideon, good night. Sasha King, good night.
What are you insinuating there?
No, the other day Carol nearly ate my head.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Karen Gideon Clovis.
Okay, Ashiba, that's your business, my brother. Sasha King, good night. Now, Cletus Toby, good night, my cousin. There's a chap, Richard, Ronald Norton.
Hold on. Joachim, before I forget, your birthday is on Saturday. Happy birthday in advance coming from the Team RF family, members of cabinet, and of course your constituents down in Castries South East. Chef Thaddeus, good night. Go ahead, Alan.
Just one last thing.
Yes.
Ronald Norton, Ferris from Viewfort.
Oh, yes.
Right?
The footballer.
Footballer.
Yes.
I've never spoken to this chap, right? But when I was a young chap, playing my little football and everything, that man was the man that I absolutely idolized in football.
I didn't idolize him in football alone. Ferris was a fireman, right?
No.
Wasn't there a fireman?
Not that I know of, no.
No, it was
You're talking about Erof.
Erof was the fireman. I used to, sometimes you see certain men and women who make contributions and who just go about it in a subtle manner. I had a special admiration for T.C. Brown. I never told, I think I told him that once. And Erof was another one. Okay. I just love his demeanor. I love how he went about doing his business. He wasn't too extroverted. Just do what he has to do and in a peaceful, calm, and collected manner. Yeah.
But I was saying that Ferris, man, I just love watching this man play football. There's something he used to do, Richard. He would he used to love.
Cynthia, good night, Cynthia. But dear Cynthia, I should have show your picture, but it's too late. In your outfit by Simon Ting. Oh, God. Next week I'll show you. Yeah, go ahead.
He would lull the defense into a false sense of security. Just come slowly with the ball from the center line, and then the man would just push that ball and chase it, and he gone left the defense. I really love that man. And so, Ferris, good night. I see you there watching.
Let me just read something. Gail, you something else. Mr. Frederick, you have done it again. Tonight's show was a powerhouse. Reliable, fact-based, and educational. That's all I do. If it's not a fact, I don't say it. It should be law for every solution to watch Can I Help You on a Thursday night. Receipts are presented for every subject under discussion. What a wow. No other show comes close, not even in the region. I'm a proud St. Lucian. I've been following you ever since from your days at HTS. I will keep following. This is your calling, sir. Thank you very much, Gail.
Yeah, Richard, just before we close, you notice I basically said nothing whilst you're going on your spiel with Herman Gill.
Yes.
Right? Because the thing, I have avoided confrontation with Herman
Gill. Tell Herman Gill, stop playing daddy to the toddler in belly. Right. That's not his.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, Richard, I have avoided confrontation with Herman Gill because Herman Gill and I have good history. But Herman Gill wants to draw me into whatever you and him have.
Well, I have nothing with him. He keeps attacking me.
He seems to have something with you.
Exactly.
And he wants to draw me into it. Herman Gill, that's not going to happen. Me never try the same nonsense. I am not involved with whatever you all have with Richard. And last time, Richard, Herman Gill I was surprised at his, something about me and arrogance and this and that in the other. Herman Gill, I'll tell you something. I still don't want confrontation with you. Right? Not that you're a bad man that I'm afraid of or anything like that, because I've got my own little thing within me. I don't believe in bad man. Right? But it's simply that, I've lost my mic.
He lost his mic. So let me say good night to Sylvester Frederick. Good night to you, Prince. Good night, my boy. He said, that is the general. Miss Marjorie, good night to you. Martin, Philogen, Trisha from Derry. So I shouldn't call you, because you all are the ones that put Shasta in there. Tekla Fitz, good night to you. Jeremy, Corporal Jeremy, Miku Police Station, good night to you. Jinx, good night again and again and again. Mrs. Lesmo from Denry, a special good night. She said to me, thanks to you, RF, for saving St. Lucia from the jaws of Shasta. Thank you very, very much. Miguel Favre, good night to you. Miguel says the one with no children is wondering if other men are gay. Make it make sense. And that is what it is all about. Shaman Caesar, I am Kim Cauldron, Carmen, Yasmin Steele, Sharon, Sis, all of you, Tutsi, all of you in the Richard Frederick chat room, Andre, Rufus, Margaret, Shaman, Gail, and all of you, good night, good night, good night. Boss Angel, good night. And of course, the boss of the bosses herself, Dania Thomas, good night. Who would I be without Dania? Go ahead, Albert.
Yeah, let me just finish this.
Yes, go ahead.
Richard, I have avoided getting into anything with Herman Gill. And Herman Gill, it's really up to you. Because even when you'll remember Neil Parker, right? Neil Parker came to me one time and he asked me certain questions and so on. And then
about Herman Gill.
A number of questions, different, Wow. And I said to him, why are you asking me? Right? And I wasn't aware of this, Richard. But all the senior police officers have a file at the CIA headquarters in Barbados. And then Neil Parker revealed to me that he read my file in Barbados, and he was told that I'm just about the only person he can speak to.
Wow.
Right? But I refrain from going into in depth with him and all of that. But Herman, leave me alone, okay? You and I have good history. Just let it be that, my brother. Just let it be that, okay? Leave me alone, right? The nonsense you. And I'm thinking, where is that coming from? You and I, last time I sat with you at your place of work, we had good conversation and everything, you know? And all of a sudden, is there something just take you? What's wrong with you, man? Herman Gill, behave yourself and leave me alone. I'm warning you. Behave yourself.
Good.
All right.
Hey, so give me what you want him about. Show me what he said.
Just tell him to just behave yourself, Herman Gill.
But when you see, I was tired of saying the same thing. And I must confess, I told Claudius I will be dealing with Herman Gill. You know, you can't be writing all that kind of foolishness about me again and again and again and again. What is wrong with you and your skeleton? The worst thing is your closet is full of not skeletons, loads and loads and loads of fragments of skeletons. Loads. Why? What's wrong with you? You are not somebody that holds any high moral ground. So press your mute button and don't let your fingers itch you when you see social media. Because trust me, I will refute. I will. Trevor in Canada, good night to you. Miss Pam Boswell, Imran Williams, my brother, take care of yourself. And I know you're taking care of the Prime Minister because you know, I know, and you know that the results that we are seeing as far as the economy is concerned did not or were not happening in any kind of, what they say, how it was happening? Huh? How was it happening? I forget. You know, we were having a discussion and fortuitous, meaning by chance, right? So the economists were saying how well the economy is doing and blah, blah, blah. And a given man said that he said he doesn't know if it was happening fortuitously. But I said it can be happening fortuitously for years. Obviously, it's good policy rollout. It's good implementation of policies that redound to the benefit, that cause the economic to grow, that cause us to be enjoying so many successive years of growth, that cause us to be experiencing the lowest level of economic growth ever in our history, that cause us to be enjoying the most arrivals in the tourism sector since we know ourselves. You cannot say those things are happening by chance. Okay?
Luck is not a policy.
Luck can never be a policy. So, folks, Pierre, oh God, I pretend in the nation. Okay. Folks, as I've always said, if God has blessed you, no one can curse you. Live clean, because what you sow, you are bound to reap. Black Boy wants to go, and so does Danya and everybody
Black
else.
Boy give up on you already.
Yeah, I know he gave up on me. Black Boy, I will never give up on you. You have been at my side ever since. Sometimes I know I get you upset. It's no fault of mine. Just that you want things to flow, without any kind of hiccups. And sadly, when it comes to the show, I'm almost a perfectionist. But folks, you all are saying it was a great show. Who am I to say no? See you next week, God willing. Goodbye.